Good morning and welcome to your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism right here on JoyNews. And this is the AM show. Now, the race towards the 2024 election is set to peak. Both the NDC and the NPP have completed the internal reorganization with Alan Tremantain and Nana Kwame Bediako-Cheda tagging along and hoping to break the duopoly of the two parties. Former President John Dramani Mahama has just concluded a campaign tour of all 16 regions, whilst NPP flag bearer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has also announced the major themes of his campaign. Ahead of a full-blown campaign season, JoyNews is also set to launch its coverage of the crucial polls. Kweku Asante of our political desk reports.
Patriotic Party are set to launch their respective campaigns for the 2024 election. NDC flag bearer, former President John Dramani Mahama and his contender, NPP flag bearer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, are also expected to name their running mates in the coming weeks. John Mahama has already been crisscrossing the country and jabbing both President Akufo-Addo and his vice.
Now all those who contributed to the mess are trying to run away as if they were not part of it. People have begun saying, oh, they were not in charge, they were not listening to them and all that. All of them, they inside. Jack Toronto and all his small brothers, all of them are part of the mess that we're going through. None of them can escape responsibility, none of them. Because they've all been a part of this. They all sat in cabinet together. They all took those decisions together. Anytime they were going to borrow from the Eurobond market, they approved it in cabinet. They sat in cabinet and approved it. In 6 years, you went and borrowed $13.5 billion, and you did nothing with it.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, already has announced his policy proposals ahead of launching his campaign.
Ladies and gentlemen, to move towards a cashless economy, however, we have to encourage the population to use electronic channels of payment. To accomplish this, under my administration, there will be no taxes on digital payments. The e-levy will therefore be abolished. Ladies and gentlemen,
Alan Tremantain, who resigned from the NPP, and businessman Nana Kwame Bediako have also announced their intentions to contest as independent candidates and have been speaking about their visions.
I cannot hold brief for what other politicians have said in the past. I want people to listen to me and understand what I'm saying on the basis of my own record and my credibility. So it cannot be just another talk show.
With the campaign temperature hitting a crescendo, JoyNews is set to launch its coverage of the election process. For decades, JoyNews has been the home of the most comprehensive coverage of elections with successful projections of winners.
We therefore project it is almost statistically impossible for John Dramani Mahama to achieve 50% plus one. Our projection is that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo will win the presidential election.
The coalition of youth groups of Abuabo have called on Ghanaians to rally behind President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his new minister as they work to turn the economic fortunes of the country around. This comes days after the president reshuffled his ministers, bringing in new members. The coalition made the appeal when they congratulated the minister-designate for finance, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, on his new appointment, and thanked the president for appointing him.
The Minister Designate for Finance, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, grew up in the Abuabu area. For this reason, the coalition of youth groups of Abuabu said they were proud of Dr. Amin's achievement and he remains an inspiration to the youth of the area. Addressing a press conference in Tamale, Secretary of the coalition, Suleiman Idrisu, said Dr. Amin's appointment is the first in the history of the country where a Northerner has been appointed as the finance minister.
That is to express our gratitude to the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for elevating our brother, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, MP for Karaga, to an enviable position of Finance Minister for the Republic of Ghana. While this represents an epoch in the history of our country, given that it is the first time a Northerner has been appointed to occupy this position, we from Tamale, and particularly Ababu community, where Dr. Amin Adam hails from, are proud to have our son and brother appointed as to such an enviable position. The entire Dagon is indeed proud of this appointment.
He said even though Dr. Amin Adam comes in at a challenging time, they are confident that his learning process from the former President John Agyeku-Kufuor's era through to the current President Nana Akufo-Addo and his personal achievement, they are confident that he will deliver.
We don't doubt the capabilities and abilities of Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam to be able to steer the ship of things as far as the economy of this country is concerned. And he's coming on board at a time our economy is in considerable disequilibrium. And we believe that he's capable of reversing the obvious decline in the economy, thereby putting it back on the right footing for the ordinary Ghanaian to benefit.
The younger brother of Dr. Amin, Alhaji Adam Rabiu, outlined some of the development projects his brother has initiated in the area.
This is the first time a Northerner, a Muslim, is being appointed as the finance minister of the Republic of Ghana. It is also a fact that of all the governments of this country, no government has ever appointed a Muslim nor a Northerner to such a position. It is only a courageous leader of our time, the current president of our time, in the person of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who has been able to do us this honor.
MP for Medina, Francis Javier Sosu, is admonishing young people to build a life for themselves and not think of a full career in politics. According to the MP, there is nothing like career politicians. He was speaking to journalists in Parliament after delivering speeches in the United States as a visiting scholar.
We can't be politicians, career politicians, yes. And every young person must know that you can't be a career politician. Find a career. I beg you, find a career. So I'm in politics. In fact, I'm in my third year. But the program I began in the University of Ghana in 2020, which is a PhD in law, I'm actually at the tail end. I should be graduating this year if God permit. And I pray that my supervisors will work with me so that I will be able to tender my final research proposal. But I'll be able to go through the coursework, go through your seminars, go through your what we call the comprehensive examination. And after a comprehensive examination, we have experiential learning. We go through all this thing until you become a candidate. So it's not an easy thing. But a lot of young people are just taking a lot of things for granted. But you see, life, you can't just take life for granted. We must rise up to the occasion. So I just want to challenge everyone out there that, look, yes, let's do the politics, but we must have a life beyond politics so that at the end of the day, you serve for a definite term, you move and go and live your life, and you can be in your career and do something. You can be out there and still contribute to Ghana. You don't need to be a career politician in order to, contribute to the Republic of Ghana. We want all young people to know that politics is not a career. I mean, they must accept the fact that politics is not a career. And looking at the 21st century, and you look at where the world is going, you cannot just say your work is being a politician. You should have something beyond politics. In fact, this kind of ideology is what has confused a lot of young people who are in school, and you are in school to be a student, but they've turned themselves into politicians in schools. And they come out of school, they don't get job, they become embittered against political parties. But I beg you, I was never a student political activist. I mean, I was an activist to the extent that I stood for SRC president and was doing some disabled projects on campus. But I was not part of any partisan group. I'm not saying that maybe being a member of TAIN or being a member of whatever is wrong. It's okay if you want to identify with a political ideology. But when you are in school, your first duty is to build yourself both academically, get the experience, so by the time you come out, you are experienced to work. If you are in school and you spend all the time doing partisan politics, and you don't, some even do that, and at the end of the day, they don't even graduate, and they're now blaming political parties for they not graduating.
Communications and Digitalization Minister Eslo Wusu says Ghana government platform has facilitated mobilization of revenue in excess of 200 billion Ghana cedis. Eslo Wusu urges the figure is a manifestation of the platform's role of streaming financial transactions and ensuring accountability. Eslo Wusu denied recent assertions that the Ghana.gov website is just a rebrand of e-service platform under the erstwhile John Mahama government.
One of the most compelling indicators of the platform's success lies in its remarkable revenue collection figures. Currently, Ghana.gov has facilitated the collection of an impressive amount of 210 billion Ghana cedis. This substantial amount, not million, billion. This substantial amount underscores the platform's pivotal role in streamlining financial transactions, enhancing transparency, and bolstering the nation's fiscal integrity. This milestone symbolizes the tangible impact of digital innovation on public services delivery, economic efficiency, and citizen empowerment. By harnessing the power of technology to centralize and optimize revenue collection processes, Ghana.gov has not only expedited financial transactions, but also minimized bureaucratic red tape and mitigated the risk of revenue leakages, effectively addressing the issue of public sector corruption.
That's it for the news, but stay with us. You know that we here at JoyNews, in the realm of political evolution, we are undoubtedly your election headquarters. Now, the race towards the 2024 election is set to peak. Both the NDC and the NPP have completed their internal reorganization, with Alan Chemanteng and Nana Bediako Cheddar tagging along and hoping to break the duopoly of the two parties. So, former President John Dramani Mahama has just concluded a campaign tour of all 16 regions, while NPP flag bearer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has also announced the major themes of his campaign. Ahead of a full-blown campaign season, JoyNews is launching our coverage of the crucial polls this morning. Let me take you now to the AMA, where Evans Mensah and the rest of our seasoned journalists are on team and ready to launch.
Of your election headquarters. Now, in 292 days, Ghana goes to the polls to elect 275 members of parliament and a president from the 7th of January 2025. Who will it be? Well, this morning, we're here to tell you what to expect as we launch your comprehensive coverage of election 2024. My name is Winston Amwa, and I'm here with
Mama Viewuswabuaje,
Benjamin Akako,
Evans Mensah,
MFA Apau.
Thank you guys for joining me, and of course, welcome. I believe all of you are doing very well.
Very well, Winston.
We're doing great. We're doing great.
It's good to be back here. 4 years ago, we were here, right here at the forecourt of the AMA, main office in Accra, and we thank God that we're back 4 years after.
Yes, of course, 4 years we're here, and all things being equal, by end of year we'll know who becomes the next president of Ghana. But for us, the most important thing is what our listeners and viewers can expect from us in 2024, what they can expect from tomorrow as we begin our preparation towards election 2024. Evans, what can they expect?
Oh, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot. That's why we're here. And the choice of this location was done quite deliberately. Because for us this year, our theme for coverage of this year's elections is for an informed electorate. We want to have an informed electorate. And everything else we're going to do this year is designed to deliver just that. Informing them. Ordinary people, middle class, upper class people. And this really is a melting pot of Ghana. This area here, the Accra Central Business District. If you look at it, right in front of us, we have the ministries. Behind us, we have Mokola, the Kantamanto, and areas where I used to play because I grew up here in Kodeklote. And then to my extreme left here, you have the TUC building. You have other banks, other facilities there. So you really have everybody else in this space. Okay, everybody's favorite, station, bus terminal is right here, which is the Tema station, right? I mean, so that is why.
The Supreme Courts as well.
Here we go. The Supreme Court is here. If you go to law school, you want to come to the Mokola as well. So everybody else is in this particular place. If you want to meet the every Ghanaian represented in this great nation of ours, this is the place to come to. And that is what we are setting up here. Today, we are going to be crossing over to Kumasi too, where our colleagues will be standing by in Swami Magazine, because this is a national event later this year. The elections is a national event, and we want to represent this as part of this coverage. We'll also go to the northern region, where we'll be talking to the people there as well. And then even in Greater Accra, we will be right behind us at the UTC area there, right in the intersection between Mokola and Kantamanto, right in the heart of it. Hearing from market women, people on their way to work, trotro drivers, and your mates, no pun intended, but mates, we'll hear from them this morning.
Oh, why mate is taking over from
why
which
the
driver?
social reference on
And
this?
I saw
Anyway,
that Mamavi, you know what Mamavi did there on the Supreme Court's presence around here, in case there's an election petition. I'm sure that's why she was referring to the Supreme Court.
But of course, talking about election petition, the Independence Square is not so far away from here too.
Okay, that's true.
And that's where the president will be sworn in, all things being equal. Let me say that this coverage is brought to us by Petrosol and Syntex Tank.
Yes, and even if he's not sworn in there, he'll be sworn in right across here from Parliament.
Exactly.
Parliament House, where they attended to do so the last time. You remember that? So yes, we really are in the heart of it. Why? Because we are the election headquarters. We are the heart of everything elections. And that's why we need to set up in a place like this, at the forecourt of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, where Accra, Ghana really, is very busy this morning. As you can see the vehicles, everybody else going somewhere. And the intersection of that is it's where we're sitting right now.
All right, so let's just... yes, sir.
I just had to note on the back of the allusion by MFR that actually right now you are the driver and we are your mates in this bus. And
no, we're not mates. We're spare drivers.
Well, you cannot have you cannot have four mates. You cannot have four mates.
It shows the kind of driver you are. So then
the
four
big
mates for one driver.
Buses.
It means the bus is big. Huge bus. Not the kind of driver that I am. But let's just say a big thank you to Absa Bank Ghana Limited, helping you find a way to get things done. Millennium Insurance, your trustworthy partner, and Total Energies. To Total, we go the extra mile for you for bringing us the 6 a.m. news. We're also grateful to Omnibasic Bank at your service for the Joy Business Report.
All right, so our Drive Safe campaign is brought to you by JoyNews and Multimedia Group, and supported proudly always by Toyota, superior quality, and Imperial General Assurance, solid protection. So our Drive Safe today, I have a great tip. Thanks be to God, for the first time in years, the TUC traffic light is working. So if you're heading to Accra today, you won't have a policeman being the traffic director. The traffic light is actually working. So once you get to the TUC junction, please be careful because the traffic lights are back on.
No, what kind of puasano? That's a novelty. It's something that we don't see often. Today I noticed it as well.
Yeah.
And you've actually
it wasn't working on Friday.
And Wings, I just need to give special mention to Petrosol and Syntex Tank. They're making this possible. Right from last year, Petrosol joined as the headline partner for the election headquarters, and they've continued the partnership. Also, we are delighted that Syntex Tank is the official partner for this launch. And again, they've been very good to make sure that we can bring this to our audiences. And today we're going to have some significant dignitaries, pass through here. The IGP's reps are on the way. The Electoral Commission will be here. The political parties, the general secretaries will be here as well. Civil society will be represented. The market women will be represented. And right behind us, I don't know, Mama V and MFI will probably be doing some,
Definitely. Once we are here, we hardly come around this town, at part of town. So once we're here, we'll take advantage of it and then buy something.
Buy what?
You can't come to the central business district and not do makola at least.
So what are you buying?
So you guys came prepared to
very prepared.
Absolutely.
You're here to talk about elections. Elections.
Well, elections are about the people, right? And the businesses.
Inform the electorate. Once we are there, we'll inform them.
So you want to be informed yourself.
Yes.
Know what's happening in the market.
So information kakra.
Oh, okay.
Purchasing so kakra.
But let's remember, Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, and Syntex Tank, strong, tough.
A big thank you to them, MFI. It's been great partnership, and we look forward to more of that later this year.
Well, I guess at around this time on radio, since this is a simulcast, you would have expected to get Say It Right, where you're taught how to say it right. And it's brought to you courtesy of Kingdom Books. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are our hallmarks, and Societe Generale Bank Ghana, the future is you. Because of the programming for today, we'll not bring you Say It Right, but from tomorrow, it is back on the Super Morning Show.
All right, I think we can get into the newspapers now.
Okay, I'll start with the BNFT.
But before you start with the BNFT...
you have to do that.
Oh, yes. Well, it's been a while since I've got an information. You guys invite me over more so I get conversant. And of course, the news review is brought to you by Zenith Bank. In your best interest, Goyle Good Energy.
That's actually the online news review, so we'll get to that later.
We'll come to that. Yeah, we'll come to that.
What's on this morning?
And of course, the newspaper review is brought to you by Syntex Tank, a stronger, tough, and enterprise insurance at 100. Year promotion, celebrating our legacy, securing your future. Let's get into it.
Yes.
Who starts first? Ladies first.
Yes.
I'll go with the BNFT and inflation reverse cast doubt on near-term rate cuts. Also on the front page, value of secured loans sees sharp decline of 54.9% in 2023 quarter 4. They also have some labor stories there. SNIT targets 2,000 informal workers in northern region in 2024. That's the target for SNIT in terms of 2,000 informal workers in the northern region. So that's on the front page of the BNFT. The back page has a donation. That's a GCB Bank donates computers to physiotherapy department of Kolebu Teaching Hospital. That's the BNFT.
Okay, I have here the Ghanaian Times, and on the front page, a story that everybody will be interested in. Government releases 150 million cedis to contractors for road maintenance. And we're going to have our potholes fixed from what the story says. And as we
150 million
150 million cedis. Yes, your point is?
Okay.
Your point is?
I think my point is made. I'm waiting for the Tema stretch, though. Work to start on the Tema motorway.
Okay, you're waiting for the Tema motorway to be fixed?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Aren't you excited about it? When was the last time you used that stretch?
Well, 150 million, I don't know if the Tema motorway is part of it.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it is part of it, but I'm just hoping that...
the point is simply this. Must the Ministry of Roads and Highways be releasing that much? At what intervals for maintenance of roads, particularly potholes?
Right.
Do we have to wait till the roads deteriorate, and then we turn around and say, we're going to fix the roads with these huge sums? Is that what we've become as a people?
So it tells you about our maintenance culture. Recently, in some places I'm familiar with, Jowulu and other places, you would see that some of these have been done, East Legon and all of that, but you look at it and you can tell that within a certain number of months or in less than a year, it's going to go bad again.
So the statement said the intervention was to enable the Ghana Highways Authority and the Department of Urban Roads to take advantage of the dry season to undertake routine pothole patching on some major roads which had deteriorated due to heavy rains last year. The ministry is hopeful that this timely intervention will result in smoother road surfaces, help reduce the risk of accidents, and prolong the lifespan of our road infrastructure. And you asked a very relevant question. I mean, maintenance has to be very regular. It doesn't appear that this is the case. So you wait for it to completely deteriorate, you spend far more on it.
Exactly.
And then you actually have a smaller stretch of roads to actually fix. And what I don't want to see is a re-asphalting of roads that are already in good condition. Because there are parts of this country, in this particular, city, where roads that are, very decent, you go to work and return the next day, and it's been fantastically re-asphalted. Meanwhile, there are roads in my hood and on my road, Winston, that are in terrible condition.
Sino Hydro is coming to your rescue.
Amen.
Well, Sino Hydro has been coming to our rescue for God knows how long. But this is the problem, and you're very right. Today we spend a lot of time. So government turns around and says we have constructed about 10,000 kilometers. Out of that, over 1,500 is asphalt overlay. 6,000 of those feeder roads. Okay, and it says new roads. These are not new roads, but the point is that why do you wake up in the morning, for instance, go back to East Legon and go and re-asphalt the place and tell me, okay, I've done roads, when there are people who need roads? In fact, the roads leading to their areas are in a deplorable state. But hey, this is Ghana, where all we think about is the plush areas. All we think about is procurement. So the best thing to do is to go to these areas.
And you raise a very important point. Right? This is the launch of election headquarters. Anytime we've been around the country with ballot box, the number one or two issues that people say will influence your votes is roads or some other infrastructure. It dominates. So the timing of this release screams to me some political advantage that the incumbent possibly wants to get with that. But we'll see what people say about that.
I'm just thinking 150 sounds like a huge figure. But if we were to do a program on roads, for instance, you see the number of people who would call in and say their roads are in a deplorable situation. So how much will 150 million actually do, considering where we are? I'm just thinking.
Well, it's a paltry sum, really, if you're thinking of it. But let's do the Finder, and then I'll get into the daily.
Right. The new Finder newspaper has on its front page, adopt Africa-wide mobile interoperability. Ekufuado rallies African heads of states. But thinking about Mr. President at this summit in Ethiopia, I'm just thinking about what he said to Blizzard in terms of the change, the recent reshuffle that he made. He says he actually did it not for himself, but for the people of Ghana. And I wonder if the people of Ghana share in that sentiment. Do you actually feel that this recent reshuffle was done in your best interest?
Well, I do not think that the president did this reshuffle for Ghanaians. At best, he did it for his political party. Because the evidence is clear. Look, majority of those who lost elections are not going back. I'm not ministers again. And for those who are not contesting, the president has removed them out of office. You can reasonably infer that the president is doing this to give people some muscle, financial muscle, get them some bit of funds to contest election 2024.
But think about it this way also. If he tells you he's not doing this for himself, because if we're doing it for himself, maybe Ken will not go. Because we've been asking for Ken to go.
That's why I said
is he done? For now, from
is he lurking around the corner?
But we are told that senior economic advisor position, at least, it's not official just yet. But we are told
and the investment role and everything else.
Because if he was doing it for himself, maybe Ken will still be there.
Wait,
so
he waited a year and a half, and he's now doing it when it's how many months to an election, and he's doing it for Ghanaians.
So really, maybe.
But you see, that's why I said at best for his political party. Because, this is just for the NPP. You know that the General Secretary of the NPP had consistently been reminding the president, about the need, for instance, to have a reshuffle. But, if I look at this critically, okay, you realize, for instance, that somebody like the Sanitation and Water Resources Minister, she loses her primaries, he's out.
Yeah. Yes.
Dan Botry says, I'm not contesting again, he's out. Kwesi Amoakwanta says, I'm not contesting again, he's out. Dr. Kwekwe Friye says, I'm not contesting again. He's out. Now, Oti region, Joseph Bakubu contests and loses. He's out. So I'm saying that if you look at all of these, and all those who've been brought in are those who are standing elections, it's obvious what the president wants to achieve. and it's obvious what he wants to achieve, particularly for his political party. If the president really wanted Ken out, he would have done that in 2022 when his party said, when his members of parliament said, enough, we don't want Ken Ofori-Atta.
But that's the point I'm making. That's the point I'm making. He tells you it's not for himself, because if it's for him, people will stay. They won't go.
So by extension, what are you saying? It's not for in his personal interest, it's for the party?
That's what he says.
Well, it also tells you that there's no real loyalty in politics, and it is what it is. They'll do what works for them. But let's quickly do the daily guide. Some interesting stories in there. Ghana Post to distribute 1 million bars of chocolate. It's on the back of Valentine's Day, and Bice or Seiko 4, a.k.a. Oh, I thought you guys would add some.
The man who lost his election bid, and he wanted to represent the good people of Asante Achim.
After giving them jobs.
And I think this is the second time, right? This is the second try.
Yes.
And he failed to get that bid. Baumia unveils campaign team today, and it's a quartet, actually. You're looking at the likes of Fred Awari, Peter McMahon, Anthony Cabo, and Samir Wuku. Interesting names, stalwarts within the NPP. And
I think the campaign chairman will be, we're told that Dan Boche. Campaign manager actually will be Dan Boche. He's been at the forefront of politics for a very long time. Knows the grassroots, and so if you really want to pursue an election, you need somebody like Dan Boche.
And also, of course, Baumia will want to galvanize the base. And we've said it many times. One incumbent in his last term to win an election, to try and break the 8, the most important thing you need to do is to galvanize the base, get their people out there excited to go and vote. The question is, Dan Boche, can he galvanize the base? As you say, he's a grassroots person. So it signals what Baumia wants to do here in terms of re-energizing the base, to re-energize those people who wouldn't necessarily traditionally vote for NPP to go out there and vote.
Yeah, but I mean, as you talk about re-energizing and galvanizing the base, I mean, there's one thing that Dr. Baumia said that I always repeat because I agree with him. In galvanizing the base must also be sound economically. And Dr. Baumia says the best way to measure an economy is the state of your pocket. Now, the base of the party, are they energized enough? What would happen to them? Is the Ghanaian economy today?
Are they feeling it in their pocket?
Are they feeling it in their pocket? And I'm sure if I asked anybody this question, the answer would be, many people would say no. Because, look, there's a story here that talks about, public sector salaries up by 23%. And I know you talk about, how inflation is also around 23%. You're looking at the increases. And every time people make reference to inflation, of course, these are ways of measuring macroeconomic indicators. But the reality is that your inflation is always higher, or most of the times higher than the national average. Why? Because the national average is actually looking at the weight. So all of us know, I mean, I'll use an example in, where areas where they like dog meat, for instance. Consistently, we talked about dog meat having an inflation of 100%. But this weight was 0.00. 0.00. So it contributes to nothing inflation. But you're being told that dog meat is actually up by 100%. When you go, it doesn't contribute in any way to the determination of inflation. And mind you, all we are saying is that between January last year and January this year, the rate of increase is 23%. The rate of increase. And all we are saying is that between January 2022 and January 2023, the rate of increase was about 50%. So in total, we've become worse off than they make us believe.
And I think,
totally worse off.
I think something that we often miss, yes, when you talk about the micro, it's not so easy to let the macro trickle down to the micro, getting into people's pockets on the back of bad policies and all of that. But we fail to focus on month-on-month inflation, which is where the devil really is. It's not the year-on-year inflation. You would see a certain, but the month-on-month inflation actually is ticking up. It's not ticking down. So you talk about dog meats, check out goat meat, check out pork and all of that. You know very well. So, I mean, it's a reality that we have to face. It's the reality on the ground. And wherever you go, whether it's from transport to whatever, you see that things are simply not the same. But let's not also forget that inflation is also personal. It depends on what your appetite. So if someone is purchasing brown rice, you are purchasing white rice. If you want brown sugar, white sugar, your taste will also determine partly your inflation.
And as part of this launch today, we will be connecting to our colleagues who will be at, as I said earlier, will be at the Kantamanto, that intersection between Mokola and Kantamanto. and we'll hear the real stories of market women, the real stories of drivers' mates and drivers themselves, people on their way to work. And they'll be telling us the key issues that will be influencing their vote this year. And I'm looking forward to hearing some of these things. We know them already, but I want to hear people. And it's not really about who you're going to vote for today. It's about the issues for us. We'll be hearing those stories. Swami Magazine, we chose that place, obviously, for the fact that this region is a stronghold of the party. And I've always said, if you want to really know what's going to happen to an incumbent party, go to their stronghold. It will give you a better sense of what they're about to witness in the elections itself. And today we'll get a better sense of that when we cross over to our colleagues, Nana Yaujima and, Wachi Yadom and Co, who will be joining us live just around 9 a.m. live from Soy Magazine in Kumasi.
All right, so let me just give you this headline in 10 seconds. NDC's Fifi Fiavi Kwete under fire. You remember the issue about Baumia's disgrace to the north. And so Nana Komia has taken him on that bit. And then more than 400 detained in Russia while paying tribute to Navalny. That story on page 5 of the Daily Guide newspaper. Charlie, the man in Russia, some things don't happen in Russia. You shouldn't even attempt it.
But you see, the bit about Fifi Kwete and the north and all, I've said it before that election 2024 will determine a few things. The NDC over the period had always assumed that the north is their stronghold. When I say the north, I mean the 5 regions of the north. The NPP's Mahmoud Bawumia, since 2008, had made the north his base during elections. And the NDC, the few times they would go to the north and go and campaign, would always make the point that, if they want you to vote for them, they should bring Bawumia. Now that the NPP has brought Bawumia, you would want to see whether the NDC would pay attention to the north. And if they pay attention to the north, now that Dr. Bawumia is also the presidential candidate, can he stay only in the north? Or he would have to go around the whole country? And I would answer that he would have to go around the whole country. If he goes around the whole country, will the north reward him just by virtue of the fact that he comes from the north, or because he's gone there to campaign? Well, this is the other point. Per research, we've been told that when it comes to elections, out of 17 factors that Adams and Co. Put down, ethnicity, or where one comes from, was number 14. It means that it doesn't play such an important role.
Where did religion come?
Come again?
Religion. And what
was
the figure for religion?
I have to check a religion bit, but I know that when it comes to ethnicity, it's 14. It means it doesn't play such an important role compared to the state of one's pocket. So we would see in 2024 whether or not the NDC or the NPP, based on the fact that all candidates are coming from the north, who gets majority of the votes. At least we know now that Dr. Bawumia has been able to flip the northeast region. For instance.
I mean, I was coming to that point because he flipped it, considering the fact that in, say, 1998, the gap between the NDC and NPP was something a region of 30%.
Yeah.
And over time, and as we did a graph, you see how when he came in 2008, he closed the gap consecutively until the last elections when he completely flipped it. That challenges a bit this point about ethnicity and kinship being number 14, right? Because if the people there, why do you think you're voting for Dr. Bawumia?
Well,
and voting for the MPP.
But isn't that crucial? Just before you come in, Winston. I mean, look at Professor Evans, Atta Mills, and the central region. The way there's no proper correlation. But in the case of Dr. Bawumia, it's become interesting. I've seen research as well that has suggested that, in fact, if you look at the gains since he's been contesting as running mate to Akufo-Addo, before even they came into power, there's not necessarily been that correlation between he's from the north and getting votes, even till the 2020 elections. So, I mean, it's not a strong correlation.
No, but if you look at the northeast, some research I see. Winston and I have seen that data. We've been doing that.
And it's not a strong correlation.
It is absolutely strong, at least for the northeast one.
I'm talking about the northern belt, not just the north.
Even to the point he makes about ethnicity and kinship. For him in that particular area, it's absolutely important. That's the only reason why, since he came in, they flipped it over what? 3 elections.
You're right. In 2016 they did, and in 2020 they continued. In the northeast region in particular, you're right.
And there's no slowdown there.
You're right. See, this is the point.
I will be surprised.
And you think that trend will continue?
I will be surprised that in 2024, with all the difficulties and the hardships, somebody will vote simply because a candidate comes from
You'll be surprised.
Region.
This is Ghana. I mean, that's why we're trying to. We're doing this.
We've moved on. The trends. We should see the trends changing. If we say that the economy is what you feel in your pockets, then should you be voting based on the fact that the candidate simply comes from your region?
Well, so Mama V, let me make the point, and Evans is right. The thing about research is that this is somebody's research. Maybe he used a different method. You could try another one, or you could do a qualitative study that says that's not the reality. And you and I have had this discussion. I have disagreed, but for purpose of analysis, you go with the research. The point is that it is true, if you look at happenings in the north, it would suggest to you that where the candidate comes from. But this is the other point. Within that period also, you can see the NPP gaining ground, even in the Savannah region, where John Mahama comes from.
Yeah.
And so that would actually give credence to the fact that sometimes it is not just where you come from, because you would expect that where John Mahama comes from, he's able to get a lot of votes there. But Bamia gets it in his backyard, and he's eating into John Mahama's advantage. But Bamavi, this is the point. When it comes to elections, lots of factors, lots and lots of factors. You talk about the economy, yes. And that's the reason why somebody could just be waiting for his share of what they term as national cake, which I disagree, and just go ahead and vote in anybody. So you be saying, oh, what you feel in your pocket. Somebody is actually relying on you, the person in Accra, to send him money every month. So for him, all that you're going through, you are his benefactor. So once you get him the money, he's waiting, and he's going to make a decision based on your benevolence. Okay? And but for all of us here, it is factual that the economy is bad. We know. That is not in doubt. Today, the lending rates are over 30%. They are very high. Businesses are complaining. Today, inflation is over 23%.
If you're being realistic.
Look, and the point is that just last week, they increased fuel prices. So all of us who drive to work, we've had to spend more. But the question is, what has happened to our earnings? No show.
Sure.
When you also consider inflation, which actually erodes what
yes, and inflation is high. It's not like, you see, when we talk about the fact that inflation is just 23%, look, it's not just 23%. 23% is...
That's a fifth.
That's a fifth.
A fifth.
Yeah. A fifth of your earnings.
Yeah.
That is huge. Anyway, we'll come back to all of this, I'm sure, once we get into the election.
A quick point. What excites me, the fact that both candidates, the front runners for the NDC and the NPP, are both from the Northern Belt. Straight fight. I want to see how it goes.
Well, the Daily Graphic talks about public sector salaries up by 23%. And Ghana Post reaches out to customers. President Akufo-Addo pushes for Africa-wide mobile interoperability. And Pharmacy Council declares war on unlicensed practitioners. And GIDA rolls out major irrigation interventions for 2024. Now, the back page, I know you would not like this, Mama V, but Kumasi Asante Kotoko stages a comeback to win J. Kufuor Cup. Can you help us by reviewing it?
I thought you were talking about the league.
No. But the league, where are you?
Shall we all?
It's not like a one-off
this. I know this is not news that the Mama V's and the Evans Mensahs would be particularly enthralled about, but some of us are ecstatic by that.
To the aid.
So this match was between Kotoko and Nswatreman.
Yes.
And it ended 2-1.
Yes.
And because of that, you're excited.
Nswatreman is above you in the league.
Seriously.
They're above you, Mama V.
I was about to...
Why?
Winston.
Why are you relying?
You
why
see,
have you become the Ghana Black Stars?
The problem with Kotoko is that Hearts is your standard.
Hey,
no, Hearts has never been our standard. It's never been our standard.
That's a fact.
No.
See, even when you win 2-1, you're thinking about Hearts.
No, I am reminding you.
The point is, we're just reminding you of your misery, where you are.
We're not miserable.
Mama V, where are you?
It's the league.
I'm asking, where are you placing the league table?
We're on the table.
That's a good one.
Are you not supporting Heart of Lions?
That's all you want, right?
I thought you had moved to Heart of Lions.
table.
Mama V, I thought you had moved to Heart of Lions.
Hearts is in the Hearts.
You are still Hearts of Hope.
There's a Hearts there.
Anyway, let me just do the Statesman before we wrap up the newspaper review. And talks about Jinapor takes on NDC over 24-hour economy. And guys, I mean, as we're launching our election headquarters, one of the major policies going into election 2024 is the 24-hour economy. And at every, opportunity the NPP gets, they tend to take it on and question the relevance and suitability of a 24-hour economy and whether it's not being done currently. I don't know what your take is on it.
I honestly think the more you speak about it, the more fuel you give it and its relevance. The key question, though, to ask is, we know what the NDC's flagship policy is. It's resonated with a lot of people. It became controversy. What is the MPP's flagship? right? I mean, when Nanado was campaigning, you could talk about free SHS. It was just sticking out.
Are you telling me you've not heard of digitization leading to digitalization?
But that's the thing. We've been used to that. We've been used to that for so long.
Even the newspapers we're using today are digital.
Well, what's new? You need that headliner that then drives your campaign. People can rally around that, and you drive it. That I haven't heard yet from the Bawumia camp. But the NDC has one.
Yes, NDC has 24-hour economy. When Bawumia spoke about his vision, you're right, you don't get that one policy that he's going into 2024 with. You get about some 15 to 20 point agenda that he wants to achieve if given the chance. Talking about when it comes to taxation, some of the things that we've consistently talked about, except that now he's talking about a flat rate for, I don't know whether he's going to come back again, because in 2016 they said from taxation to production. The evidence today is that we are not engaged in taxation to production. And for me, that's where the problem even is. That today, the NPP is found at every opportunity to tax people. The very government that talked about from taxation.
Well, the management of the economy has made it impossible for them to do otherwise. But that's my point.
They cost it.
That's my point. It's the management of the economy.
And turn around and
so
tax
you don't have to tax more. Remember when they came in first, in the first, 2017, 18? They had for that Christmas budget, where they attempted to reduce almost all taxes and a raft of them. And then reality set in. And 2019, the reports show we began that downward trend even before COVID hit. And the management of that, we saw the consequences. It's really the reason why they're imposing all these taxes. The course of how the management of the economy had been less than optimal.
That's even problematic. Because by 2019, they had warned us of being at high risk of debt distress.
Yes, that's my point.
We continued into COVID. Then we went into 2021. We went to the international capital market, and when it became problematic for us, we still went there. Which government that thinks of its people would go into an IMF program, knowing that people have become worse off? Now, the Ghana Statistical Service, in its own report, says that 2/3 of Ghanaians have not restored their income to pre-COVID-19 levels.
Yeah.
2/3 of Ghanaians.
800,000 people have been moved into
the poverty. Yeah. And yet, this government goes into an IMF program. Instead of cutting down on expenditure, they actually go into an IMF program, promising the IMF to engage in massive revenue mobilization. Which government, thinking of the well-being and welfare of the people, would do that? And so, I mean, when they make all these points of COVID-19 and all of that, you had a chance to actually do things right. You messed things, and you turn around and burden the people. That is not acceptable. But of course, you've already acknowledged our sponsors for the online news review. So let me just tell you that if you're running out of fuel in your vehicle, then don't just stop anywhere. Don't do that. Let's introduce you to the Good Energy family and why you must be a part. Gold Super XP on 95 and Diesel SP are the best quality fuel with high performance in town for your vehicle. Gold Super XP on 95 is a high-grade fuel sold at the same price as normal fuel, and Gold Diesel SP is low in sulfur, making it an eco-friendly option for your vehicle with over 440 stations across the nation. Join the family that rewards you with quality for an energized driving experience. Goil Good Energy, Goil Yenara Yedin.
And here's some great news for the people of Ashaman and its environs. Zenith Bank now has a branch near you. Your customer-focused bank has drawn closer to you with the opening of the Zenith Bank Ashaman branch, located at the Ashaman Shell Filling Station on the Ashaman Klagon Road. Your bank of choice is ready to serve you with a bouquet of banking products and services. So whether you're an SME, a small corporate business owner, you're young or old, rest assured that we have a product made just for you. Visit Zenith Bank's Ashaman branch today. Exceptional service awaits you. Zenith Bank, in your best interests.
Well, around this time, at the top of the hour on radio, Joy 99.7 FM, we would have been bringing you the BBC News. And we're acknowledging them. Of course, it's always brought to you courtesy of Fidelity Bank, believe with us. And Old Mutual, 10 years of greatness in Ghana, here for a lifetime.
And we'll go for a short break. When we return, we continue with our coverage for the launch of your election headquarters for election 2024. Stay with us. We'll be right back. the Super Morning Show and the AM Show, where this morning we're bringing you the launch of our election headquarters. Because in 292 days, Ghana goes to the polls to elect 275 members of parliament and a president for the next 4 years. We're currently at the forecourt of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. I'm here with Evans Mensah. We're also joined here by DCOP Prince Gabriel Wabu, who's Director General of Research and Planning of the Ghana Police Service. DCOP Wabu, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning. How are you?
We're fine. We believe that you're fine too.
I'm doing great.
And as you know, Wing Sing, we cannot have a successful election, free and fair elections, without the police service. Under the leadership of the IGP, they've done quite a bit of work in setting the stage already. I know they set up that election committee way before this year, and they've been working at it. And you cannot launch it. And what we want to do this year is to hear from the architects, those who will be in the forefront of ensuring that elections are not only free and fair, but secure.
Sure.
And that's why we invited, of course, the IGP to be part of this particular event. And we are happy that he sent over DCOP Prince Gabriel Wagu to join us for this conversation. So we are grateful that you could come over to join us.
Thank you so much. We're also grateful. The RG would have been here himself, but due to other duties of his that has taken him away, he decided to send a team of us, led by myself, the Deputy Operational Commander, that is Director Abbas, his Assistant Commissioner of Police. Another lady will be joining us soon, just to come and then interact with you and then let you know that this election coming is a free and fair election. It's incident-free. We know what we have put in place, and there's no cause for alarm. We have, gone through 2023 with a lot of elections. Intra-elections, that is intra-party elections, for the NDC, for the NPP, and then just a recent one, that is the district assembly elections, that assembly and then the committee member elections. So you see how within last year, the elections that we held and the successes that were out of it, they were all incident-free. You can talk of the Kumawu one, which was quite tense. People thought otherwise, but the police took it like water sort of drinking. And then the Ascent North one, which was also with some sort of high peak, but things went on smoothly. So it tells you that we are not leaving any stone unturned, especially when it comes to the general elections. Things have been put in place. We are training.
Tell us about that, though, because I know the election security task force was set up way before now.
Yes.
What are the structures that you put in place to ensure that this year's elections is very secure?
To tell you the fact, sensitization is ongoing. We and the sister security, that is the prisons, the fire, immigration, all are on the table. They all doing what they can do to finish. Training is ongoing, vigorous training, of course. Equipment have been gotten, and as at now, we still have even recruits under training, and all is geared towards 2024 elections. And I tell you what, officers of probably 300 are going to go to the college, and they would definitely pass out before 2024 elections. So these are some of the ways and then the measures that we have put in place to, see to it that 2024 election becomes a success. Apart from that,
I mean, you're talking about training and all, but for many Ghanaians also, learning from what happened in 2020, where some Ghanaians lost their lives during the elections, they would want to know, what is it that the Ghana Police Service has put in place to ensure that not one person loses his life during this election period?
Yeah, just as I said, if you looked at 2023, the elections that we conducted you could see that all were incident-free. This is the status, and we have learned out of it. We have taken notes out of it, And so we know where we are moving
What
forward.
have you learned out of these?
Like how we organize it, how we organize all those elections that within last year, and whatever happened in 2022, a lesson has been learned out of it. We're not maybe going to involve the military as it were, because it was not even the police that came out with this issue. So it's going to be only the military, the police, the prisons, the fire, and then immigration. That is going to conduct these elections. They are going to support us. It is our baby. It is the police baby, but we want to co-opt in our sister security to assist in one way or the other.
Has that been sorted out, though, that when it comes to elections, you are the primary security agency, and in fact, in the coordination process, you will have to request if you need additional support, and we don't have a situation where we have the military going into a place and creating this tension that we see sometimes that then leads to violence, and then the police is held responsible, but there's a military that has been deployed sometimes without your knowledge. And I'm saying this on the back of Ayawaso West Wagon. And when the commission work was done, it was streamlined with the police being the arrowhead. Has that been sorted out for this year?
That has been sorted out by the Inspector General of Police with his former members, and it's a clear-cut issue. Every internal issue is the police duty, and that is for sure on place. So we don't have any thing that we need to maybe recall the past when it comes to this year's elections.
How many men are you hoping to deploy this year?
Hey.
And we are talking about the election itself, but there's a lot of work that you need to do even before the D-Day itself. And then post-elections, but the post-election phase sometimes is the most tense phase.
Just as you're doing, you have already set the ball rolling.
True.
This is what we're doing. We are in touch with the people. That's what I'm saying. Sensitization is ongoing, even though it's not yet time for the elections. And then stakeholders' engagement is also ongoing.
Yeah.
So we're going to engage almost every citizen in this country, conscientize them, their duties, their obligations, and to what they are expected to do. So all these things are things that we are rolling on, which is ongoing, and we are sure once people get to know what they are supposed to do, what they are not supposed to do, but at the end of the day, we would be able to cover the whole country. And talking of number of people to deploy, that one, you are rest assured. You should understand.
You also talked earlier that you are training more men.
Yes.
To deploy before, during, and after the elections.
Yes.
You mentioned 300 more men. Is that all you're training?
That is officers.
Officers, okay.
That's officers. Men are going to, the other ranks, there are a lot in the depots. Koforidua is having, Palugu is having, Kumasi is having, Accra is having. So you can imagine, at least within the year, we'll be having a lot that will come to add up to what we have. So when it comes to the manpower issue, we are done. Other logistics, yes, we are clear.
And I'm curious about your relationship with the political parties.
Yes.
What's the arrangement there?
Oh, certainly. That's why I said we have this rapport, and we are engaging them one-on-one. So we know with their assistance, it will be a perfect thing. And definitely, with the engagement that we are having with the political parties, I think if
how regular is this, and how formal is it? Is it meetings or personal phone calls, or how have you structured this relationship?
No, it's one-on-one kind of invitation, either to their place or they coming to us. This has been going on since 2023, when we had these numerous elections. And I must be frank with you, it was cordial, especially when it comes to like elections for NPP, for their presidential, for their parliamentary, for the whatever. You call them, they come. We sit and we discuss issues. And we all come to, one sort of idea, and then we pick that and then we work that. And that has been our success since we started.
What has been the cooperation from them in this? Are they being cooperative? Are they assuring you that they're going to play by the rules?
Yes, yes. And that is what we are actually expecting from them this time. Theirs is also quite paramount when it comes to elections. If they are able to talk to their followers, especially insults and all those things, they eschew that. I think we'll have a very beautiful election this year.
The political parties, I'm interested in one thing. You've talked about, we invite them, but as part of the peace plan, for instance, do you have arranged a series of meetings ahead in ensuring that they know your plans, you address their concerns, so that on election day we don't have any incidents?
Yes, those are always on. Those are always on. But you know, human as we are, sometimes it might not even be the leadership, but somebody will trigger something. But I think for now, these are the things that the Inspector General of Police with his POMA members are doing. And they started doing this, that's why 2023, all those elections that we had, there was that collaboration, there was that meetings, coming together, fine-tuning things, and then getting a point to stand on. That is what we actually have done.
Okay. Any hotspots identified ahead of the elections?
It's something that the police will do almost every election.
Exactly.
They sort of warn us ahead. They will do a list for us of the places, and so everybody else sort of keeps a focus on that.
Hotspots. The whole country is a hotspot. So we are planning towards the whole country as a hotspot. We leave no stone unturned. And when it comes to like individual issues,
you know that is true. But what we've become accustomed to is that in each election year, the police will outdoor a sort of a research of a sort, sort of gauging areas where they anticipate, either based on history or intelligence, that these areas are places that we are giving. Yeah, we are paying attention to everywhere in the country, but for these we are paying a special focus, a special attention there, because and then that also carries people along.
Yep.
And the political parties also.
Yeah, that is true. You might think last year it was here, this year it's going to be there. No, it doesn't happen that way. And also based on intelligence that we'll gather, which we have a lot of intelligence gathering machineries now on the ground. So by the time we get to close to elections, we would have known where we would concentrate more and where we will not concentrate more.
So, in effect, for now is not time. You've not identified the major hotspots, because if you say the whole country is a hotspot, fine, but there'll be major hotspots.
Yes.
And that's what we're asking, because in every election, these are the places where you need to be careful. These are the places where security agencies are focusing most on. Do you have those major hotspots?
Those ones, yes, they are known, but we're not concentrating that those would be the hotspots on the D-Day.
Okay.
Because if you concentrate on that, you might forget of other places. So, yes, we know. The old ones, yes, would kind of put our eyes on those places, be very vigilant there, but we'll still think that a day where can become a bit...
Okay, anywhere could become a major hotspot.
That's it.
Currently, do you have a number that you're dealing with while you look forward to the new ones?
I can't say 20, 30 hotspots. No. That's what I'm saying. By the time, you see, campaign and all those things would determine where it's going to be a hotspot. Until all these things come to play, you will not identify that here is a hotspot or here is a hotspot. It is during the campaign that you realize that, this place, we need to concentrate here. We need to concentrate here. We need to take men here. We need to have more men here than the other places.
And we are having a conversation today at our launch of the election headquarters from the forecourt of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly with the Director General, Research Planning of the Ghana Police Service, DCOP Prince Gabriel Wabu, who is joined us with his team today as we launch the election headquarters. We'll be going into the marketplace pretty shortly where we are Right behind us is a bustling and hustling of market women who are trying to make ends meet. And this really represents the ordinary folks who will be casting their ballots this year. I want to hear from them pretty soon here on your election headquarters. We'll be crossing over to Kumasi at 9, but also go to Kantamanto and Mokola to get more views for you as part of our launch today. The various political parties will also be joining us today for a conversation, so you want to stay with us. And as you may also know by now, this is a national event, and that is why we are having a conversation with the police, and they've already told us that for them the entire country is a hotspot, and that is how they are treating this year's elections. It's absolutely important that security becomes a priority. Soon we'll be hearing from the Electoral Commission that will also join us with your own thoughts on this. Now, DCOP, I know you put in place a lot of works and structures to ensure that this year's election is free and fair, but there are people who exist to make your life difficult. What do you say to them? Those who currently are plotting to snatch ballot boxes, to create chaos, to take advantage of that for either political ends, for their own selfish ends. What do you say to those?
I'm afraid they shouldn't dare, because that's what I'm saying. We have all implements that would be able to pick you up, and we wouldn't even need to chase you. We didn't need to chase you, but we'll pick you from your house after you have done such a thing. So why go there, do it, when the law will catch up with you?
In other words, this year also will be intelligence-led.
Yes. Yes.
In fishing out those who are plotting and those who want to disrupt the polls.
A policeman might be standing there with a camera you might not even know. A camera that is hidden. So all the police that you'll be seeing, some will be having body cameras. They are there. It's being looked at our main base. So whatever is going on during the elections would be monitored and would be captured live.
Was it?
Yeah.
Exactly. This morning, look, DCOP, you've talked about it being intelligence-led, but should it happen? And I mean, I'm sure Evans is asking, what do you tell that person? How are you going to deal with it? Why shouldn't he dare? You say, don't dare, we'll pick you. But why shouldn't he do it?
Why should you want to destroy what is being put in place? That millions of people say, this is what we want, and then you say, I will not allow you to. Definitely the law will catch up with you. I'm not the law, but the court will deal with you, because I'll put you before the courts.
And your men on the ground too will deal with him?
For that one, you should know. Immediately you will be arrested.
So this year we are assured that the elections will be peaceful?
Everywhere there will be a standby team that goes around from polling station to polling station. So there is not like it's only one policeman minding a place that you can go and do anything and go away. No. They are always standby team, full force, ready to, normalize the situation should it happen. But I know and I pray that Ghanaians as we are will be law-abiding, and we should be law-abiding, that these sort of things should not happen. It has happened, yes, before, and they have had their great share. So why go ahead to do such a thing?
I mean, you've talked about everything that you're going to do. You've talked about dealing with the political parties. But beyond the political parties, yes, they are the major stakeholders in this election. Beyond the political parties, what other engagements are the police planning?
We're having a lot of engagement with stakeholders. Almost all.
Who are these stakeholders, other stakeholders that you're having engagements with?
Talk of the churches, talk of the mosque, talk of even school children, and then, our sister security, we're just touching almost everywhere.
Talking about your sister security, because we know that during election days, while you are in charge, we know that you bring on board some of your sister securities.
Yeah.
Now, these sister security services, what are the level of engagements? How prepared are all of you in ensuring that everything goes according to plan?
We have a team and they all come together at the operational center and discuss all these issues. And they are also going to, once they get the information, they go down to their men and educate them on what to do and the necessary things that would be in place for them to also support as we are the lead.
And thank you very much that you make time to join us this morning, and you're going to stay around a bit. But we are grateful that you came. You've been listening to DCOP Prince Gabriel Wabu. He's the Director General, Research and Planning at the Ghana Police Service. And Winston, as we've been saying all along, this is a people's event. Sure. The election headquarters is about people. Our theme this year is for an informed electorate. And one of the groups in this country that represents a core base of the electorate are traders. And when you go into Mokola, they sort of give you a sense of where the polls will swing. Because when people go and buy stuff, you talk about inflation, whether people are feeling in their pocket. They feel it first before they pass it on to you, right? And they sort of give you a sense of where we are when you approach them. And the kind of conversation that they have with you will tell you what really is happening in the economy. Have you listened to a Mokola woman analyze the economy before?
Oh, they do it better than we do.
They do it far better than the PhDs at the University of Ghana. Yeah. Because they're really the bread and butter of this country. They represent that. And that's the conversation we want to have next. And Mama V Owusu-Aboagye is standing by right now with Mercy Na Afroya Nijan. He's the president of the Ghana Greater Accra Traders Association. Mama V, I can see you are seated comfortable with our Queen Mother for a conversation. We'll get Mama V's microphone sorted very quickly for that conversation to happen. But we'll also be crossing over to the marketplace and hear the market women themselves. But their Queen Mother will give us a sense of what they are thinking pretty shortly. And as we've been speaking, we'll also be joined by civil society organizations who we are partnering. Star Ghana, for example, is partnering us to deliver a host of programs this year. And we are delighted that they will join us later today to give us a sense of what they want to do with election headquarters this year. We'll also be introducing you to some of our programs, in fact, all of our programs this year that you can look forward to. Some of them, Winston, are beginning right after we launch. Exactly. And we're looking forward to that. I really don't want yet to let the cat out of the bag, because we have some nice montages that we want people to watch, because we've really packaged something for you to appreciate what we plan to roll out. We have some innovative shows that we've couched, all to deliver on one goal, so we can have an informed electorate on December 7. When you enter into that booth, you are equipped to make an informed decision, and we'll be outdooring these programs pretty shortly. Mavi is ready now with our Queen Mother, the leader of the Traders Union here in the Greater Accra region, Mercy Na Afroya Nijan, president of the Greater Accra Market Traders Association. Mavi.
Yes, Evans, and we never do election headquarters without our market women, because we know that they are integral. And I want to say good morning to you, Auntie Mercy. Thank you so much for being with us here on your election headquarters. You were with us 4 years ago, and you are still president. How many terms do you serve?
Thank you very much. You heard my brother saying, President, market queen. And if you hear of a queen is not changed with a hand slap. It's a market queen, and as we are installed, we are not elected, we are installed as queen. So when they install you, you have to play your role until thy kingdom come.
Right.
And I'm praying to God that by next 50 years, God will give me the grace so that you see me here again.
Amen. Amen. But this is an election year. And election is also your business as market men and women. So I want to ask you what the expectations are in terms of what the market people are expecting this year.
Thank you very much. All that we are expecting is peace. We need peace before, during, and after the elections. That is the major thing we need. Because without peace, nothing will go on. And you see, when there is rout, it's rather unfortunate you see the men with their long legs leaving their children and their wives behind and running. And you see the woman trying to pack things for the child, put the child at the back, hold one on the shoulder, put a basket on the head, trying to grab everything before she will leave. And if you don't take her, she will go on like that, and whatever is coming will come and meet her. So we feel if there is peace, we will get a very nice atmosphere to do our businesses. Because before election, people will eat. During election, people will eat. After election, people will eat. So if there is no peace for the markets to operate, I think there will be chaos.
Well, we've heard from Dr. Bawumia, who is the NPP's presidential candidate. We've heard from John Dramani Mahama. We've also heard from Alan Tremantin. They've all said something. What have you heard? What is resonating with you? What are the messages that are sticking with you so far?
Thank you very much. I think those of us outside are those who fight and quarrel and so on. But if you get to the top, you see that they are the best of friends. They all work together, they meet together, and do everything together. And all that they are saying is, whoever wins must be accepted. Because at every election, it's only one person that will win. So everybody is prepared to meet the winner for the rest to follow up.
So what do you want? I know that you say you want peace is like the number one thing on your list. But you're traders, you do business. What sort of changes are you expecting that the next leader of our country would bring to your business?
Okay, as traders, we want modernization. We want some improvement in our structures, in our businesses, so that we'll move on. You see, we can't be at one place all the time. We have to move on. And by moving on, there should be some changes. For example, if you look at the shopping malls that are cropping out, they are now becoming a thorn in our flesh. Because if you go there, they have parking spaces, where air-conditioned stores and so on. But the markets, the traditional markets, play a very big role in the trading business in our country. Because if it's a very fertile place for tourism, because if somebody is coming into the country, the person is not coming to look at the shopping mall. They have better ones in their country. But they want to come to the market, look at the market setup, the bargaining business, the straw hat, and the market woman on their seat doing business. So it is a very good tourist attraction. And we have to upgrade ourselves. Upgrading ourselves means we have to change our lifestyle. We have to be informal.
Right.
We are informal setup, but we have to make it formal by doing our things formally. So what I'm praying is, if we have a change of our attitude, a change of how we meet our customers, a change how we bargain with our customers, the respect and the atmosphere will be. Let's take it. If you are in the market, you are a businesswoman. You are in the market. You are working. You are a worker. It's not what work are you doing? Oh, I don't do any work. Oh, I'm in the market. Market is a working place. Our grandmothers have been there. Our mothers have been there. Now we are there.
So you want the traders to approach it
like a proper business.
Right. But would you need help in that area? Because it's interesting you talk about the shopping malls coming up and the sort of changes that you want to see with our traditional markets. And it's also very interesting how you identify it as a tourist attraction, which is indeed true. So what exactly do you want these leaders, those who want to lead us, what do you want them to do practically?
I, as the president of Greater Accra Market Association, we want our markets to be renovated. We should have proper car parks. We should have educational system in the market, health system in the market, fire service in the market, police in the market.
You have fire service at Makola?
Yes, but not all the markets. We have lots of markets that will have to run about 2 miles before they get to fire service. They should be with us because the place is so congested, anything at all can happen. So if they are at hand, as we have in Makola, it's good for us. And also, we want proper educational system, day nurseries and things in the market, so that we bring our children, we send them to the schools, like we have in Makola. It seems as if Makola is in the center of the business center. So we have got lots of the important things. But go to other markets, they don't have anything. So I'm pleading with the DCEs at those markets to upgrade. They can upgrade so that our members there will also feel comfortable like those in the business centers.
I went to Malamata not too long ago. Some of the women were not interested in voting because they said that, well, they all say the same things, but when they come, they don't do anything for us. What have you noticed in terms of the conversations going on around the women in the market? Are they interested in this election?
What I would say is Malata is a very old market. It has been in the existence. It's one of the markets that were built. And when you went there, what did you see? What did you see there to make somebody who is there for 40 years to take a decision? There's no change. So we are saying they should, so they should change the places for us, build new markets, improve what we have. Then we will know that, something is going on. So if I use all my time and all my energy to go and queue from 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. and vote, at least I'll get some sort of change in my life. But notwithstanding, I would never advise any market woman or man not to go and vote, because your decision will be determined by your thumb. So if you don't go and vote, then 2 people go and vote and they choose somebody, they are choosing the person for all of us. So I will advise them, everybody should try and go and vote. It's our right to vote, and as Ghanaian citizens, we have to do so.
Well, I know it's February, but are the political parties visiting the markets campaigning?
Yes, of course. They started even more than 2. Everybody is interested. And they know the market is a very organized place where you meet a lot of members. So they have been coming. And we have been receiving them. And we'll keep on to receive them. Because if you go to a market, you can meet members of all the political parties in Ghana. Every party can get a member, his or a member, in the market. So they have to come. And when they are coming, they should be prepared. They shouldn't come and just pass through dancing and jumping without sitting down with us and asking us our problems and how they will be able to solve it for us. That is what we want.
Right. All right. My guest is Auntie Mercy Na Afroa Nijan, and she's the president of the Greater Accra Market Traders Association. We're just trying to, look at the expectations of our traders as well. She's talked about their concerns and she's talked about their expectations. But most importantly, she's encouraging all traders, no matter what, to vote because it is crucial to vote. All right, so just before I say goodbye to you, I know that we've talked about the greater expectation between now and December. Are you interested, for instance, in the independent candidates and what they are saying, those who want to go independent? Are you paying attention to them?
It's their right. If they want to go independent, it's their choice. If they want to join their party, it's their choice. And the voters to have their choices. Wherever they want their term to go is where it will go. So presently, you can't say this one has the right or this one can do this one can't do this. All that we are praying is the individual parties, they can do their campaigns in peace. In peace. Before, during, and after the elections, because the women and men in the markets, we need peace to do our businesses. We need peace to give the country food. We need peace to give the country clothing. And we need peace to sustain our country, Ghana.
And the Queen Mother has spoken. That's the president of the Greater Accra Women's Traders Association, Market Traders Association of Ghana. We thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being on your election headquarters. We're grateful to Syntex Tank and Petrosol for making election headquarters this launch possible. There's lots to come. Evans and Winston are standing by right now.
Mavi, thank you very much, and thank you to Nijan for joining us with this conversation. And Winston is here with me. Winston, you were listening to that conversation with some interest.
No, very interesting. You see, you hear the market queen talking about the need to formalize. She says, a lot of us are informal. We need to formalize. And she's talked about data, for instance. She's talked about the need, to be assisted. And for me, that is the most important thing. Okay? You can hear the players themselves asking for support. And this is the most important thing. If they are formalized, we can actually help them proper bookkeep. So when they engage in proper bookkeeping, we can actually help them to be able to secure funds. And then when they also make earnings, they can pay something to the contribution of the state. What that would mean is that you don't have to go through this indirect taxation that is burdening all of us.
We've heard from the market queen. Let's hear from the market women themselves in the marketplace right behind us.
Really?
The 2024 election is just about 10 months away, and so many people are expressing bad views in terms of what exactly will inform their vote. A lot of people are expressing their sentiments within the 2024 economy and even the state of the economy itself. But if you want to test the pulse of the nation, you've got to come to a place like this, where so many people buy themselves. This is where you will feel the economy, because whatever you buy in your homes, chances are they get some of the stock from Central Accra. And so the question to ask is for these traders who sell here every day, what exactly will inform their vote, and what exactly are they looking at political parties to tell them as the election season gets deeper? So we're here at the Central Business District of Accra. I want to start some of the so many women who are here and know exactly what will inform their vote. So I'll try and speak to some of them.
To be sure, I'm not for school. Yeah, Baba, so say obvious Kadumumay. Yeah, but now to be sure, Manu, Baba, the medium in Quadia, me to be.
So, what is the sentiment these traders shares with us that the economy is in such a difficult state, I mean, if she has her own way, she's not going to go because she does not believe that people are really giving us in terms of how things are going to be. Okay, so let's try to also share the same sentiment with you. She says that, and in terms of the economy, since the years been gone, no one has come around to buy anything. She wants to put them around. That's what we raise one. We can say, I'm going So this woman expresses similar sentiments. It appears when you come to the heart of Accra, and the traders are speaking in unison about the state of the economy and how much that will impact their mood. So many of them speaking about the economy. Let me speak to some more people and try and see if the views are any different, whether or not these
Adum by a pipe or say no, your college, now Munias Capital, from your companion, and yet if you have Potoko 10 minutes, then the 1 ton 1 year. Never we am two Sudanese can be on the Pacomanias can know the other.
Into message me and a buying opposition Mommy, we a tour in Kumasi, she sells okra, and her message to the government is that we need to loosen the fiscal policy so that more people can get money in their pocket, come down here to the central business district and do business. Because ultimately, when people come here to buy, that is how they get some money, some profit to take care of their kids, their relatives, some persons who are in school and all that. And so they want some action to be taken on the fiscal and monetary policy of the economy. So, the message here at the central business district is simple, that the government must do more. The government must do more in terms of the economy to get more people to sell. And this woman sells here. We'll try and engage at these in terms of what will lead her to vote for a party. Economy no more to say, Nyama Tomu to say, Mommy. That's all. Good morning, no. That's all. Your Joy FM. I don't pay. If you say visa, say, at the Tomu send the same. Economy no more send the same. Especially like election 10 months. Then partner any business here, which also okay. Me twa kosi and me twa kosi.
And I'm on the home touch. And I'm more wire the young one. Since I'm on touch, yes, sir. What matter no wire?
Okay, but your friend say.
Monica.
Okay, so Monica expresses similar view. Again, the dominant theme here is the central business district. If you ask anybody what exactly may inform their votes in 2024, it appears the election is at the forefront. 4 years ago, 8 years ago, the message was about 3 SHS. The message seems to a bit have progressed now, and it's about the economy and the expectation of these market women that the economy will get into a better state for them to be able to do business, get enough profit, and be able to take care of their families. One message runs through that people are not buying things. They come here from morning to evening. They're unable to sell so much of their goods. And so if government will loosen the fiscal policy a bit, get people money in their pocket, they can come down to places like this and do business. They can come to places like this and sell. So any moment for me, we back as an example. Good morning. Your friend, Joy FM. Now, you be say economy no mo kɔ sɛn ade tɔn mu nsɛm ɛte sɛn na yɛkɔto abɛyi nneɛma tɔn mu ne ɛho nsɛm sɛn na ɛbɛma wɔto abakɔ si ana wɔbɛto akɔ si.
Market in the end, the crowd, and the crowd, they are banging here. In the other side, I feel them to Waba.
Mommy, so sure, say, Biana, said you want to about what they are not sure. I could say crowd now.
They said, you see, or before by a bank cry, they are sad. You know, yeah.
That's what you cry. Mommy, but your first say. Okay. So, this is Hannah, and that's the last person we speak about in terms of how the business is going on here at the Central Business District. They tell us about the state of business. Things aren't moving as much as they would expect. People aren't quite coming to buy. There's a time where you come to the Central Business District and this place will be filled with people. That is not the situation now. They come around and the business isn't quite moving as you would expect. The central theme here, and for politicians listening, to frame their message, is about the economy, the state of business. People are talking about how coming here, no one is coming around to buy. And it's affecting their sales. It means they're not getting enough to be able to take care of their family. So for the government, for the opposition parties, the message here at the Central Business District is about the economy. So they say, they're not doing well at all. And so while we take it over, and while political party reps are coming on this show, their message to them is to bring proper solutions on the economy to make things better. And that is how they get your
headquarters. And we are here with our friends from the market. We've been talking to them. The Ghana Police Service is heavily represented. We've been talking to the Director of Research and Planning at the Police Service. We've been talking to the market women. Shortly, the political parties will join us. I've seen Ivor Green Street here. I've seen the NPP represented. The NDC will be represented pretty shortly as well. The Electoral Commission will also be represented. We'll also be crossed over to the Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi. We will be live also in the Northern Regional Capital, Tamale, very, very soon. But this is the launch of your election headquarters. And so we also need to tell our audiences what we plan to do this year, specifically the programming leading into December 7. That we'll do pretty soon. But we need to make some money wasted.
Very, very important.
But be careful when you say December 7, because that could change.
Oh, it could be. It could be earlier.
No, it's December 7. It's December 7.
We should know something that the 12 of us.
The last time I was in a meeting where the Electoral Commission was there.
Oh, yeah. That's true, at the UNDP.
At UNDP, they indicated that this election will be on the 7th of December.
So they've given up on that idea.
Well, from what I gathered from that meeting, the 7th, the November date was for 2028. And so...
okay, that's great clarity.
Yes.
Thankfully, they'll be here.
Sure.
So we'll hear them say it publicly.
Yes.
Let's
Anyway,
make some money.
For Toyota users, get ready for a revolution. If you want your Toyota engine to function optimally, then there's only one choice, the Toyota Genuine Motor Oil. The Toyota Genuine Motor Oil has been rigorously tested and proven to be the best oil for your Toyota engine, specially crafted to keep your Toyota engine running smoothly and efficiently. The Toyota Genuine Motor Oil is available at all Toyota Ghana branches across the country. Nothing makes your engine happier than Toyota Genuine Motor Oil. For bulk purchase or distribution, contact Toyota Ghana on 0302 429801. Toyota, superior quality.
And you don't want to send your girl child or boy to secondary school so that they can sleep on the floor and sit on plastic chairs to study. That's why you need to listen to this recommendation. Let me introduce you to Life International College. It's a leading Christ-centered senior high school located in the Greater Accra region. They're accredited by the International Christian Accrediting Association of USA and also a member of the Oral Roberts University Educational Fellowship, as well as accredited by the Ghana Education Service in Ghana. And the Oral Roberts University Educational Fellowship is also in the USA. They offer these advantages: serene environment, sound moral training based on biblical principles, outstanding academic performance, also dedicated and devoted staff courses. They have general science, general arts, and business. Locate Life International College off the Akosombo Trunk Road, 10 minutes drive from Michelle Camp. For further inquiries, here are numbers to call: 020-815-6742 or 0244-377-584 and 0249-642-785. LIC, that's Life International College, training the next generation of transformational leaders.
No, as a business owner, insurance is incredibly important. When you have a business, you are not only responsible for your livelihood and goods, but also that of your customers and clients and staff. SIC Insurance PLC has a full array of insurance policies for your business, which covers property, workmen's compensation, key persons as professionals, motor, public liability, business interruption, and more. Potentially, disastrous situations can be prevented with the right insurance cover. So talk to SIC Insurance today. Call them on 08001-00055 or 03028232100, and you will be glad you did. SIC Insurance, our promises are sacred. And it's Imperial Insure and Win promo reloaded.
We will come to Imperial in a bit.
Okay.
And here's the great news, because Batimat is here again. It's the XXL clearance sale. Guaranteed savings. All the products in the showroom are up to 70% off from now to the end of April 2024. That is from 20%, 25%, 30%, 40%, 50%, up to 70% on several products. Carry out your construction projects this year with complete peace of mind. Don't miss this opportunity. It's the year to get things done. Batimat is home for some of the best brands in building solutions. We're the leading distributors of Legrand electrical products like distribution boards and enclosure switches and sockets, breakers. We also have best waterproofing solutions and chemicals for your building projects. Other products include tiles, lights, office furniture, sanitary wares, bathroom accessories, and so on. Enjoy great discounts on all these items as price craziness at Batimat from now till April 30th, 2024. Visit our showroom at the North Industrial Area next to Winners Chapel, Ghana, close to ECG Avenue. Call us now on 0544-314553. Don't miss out. Batimat, welcome home.
And I know you two gentlemen drive very good cars, and I hope that you're taking care of your engine, because you don't want the engine to age faster if you're not maintaining. So let me recommend the Quartz engine oil from Total Energies. It has age resistance technology, and it's actually a breakthrough innovation that ensures optimal performance for your engine. Also improves protection against mechanical wear by up to 74%, even under extreme temperatures and pressure. You know, choosing Quartz from Total Energies is definitely choosing the engine oil that keeps your engine running efficiently and effectively. Quartz, keep your engine younger for longer.
Would you want some free fuel?
Absolutely.
What about, have you changed your tires? Have you changed your tires recently? When was the last time you changed your tire?
I need to change one tire at least.
What? You have to change all four. To do that, you need to sign up for that Imperial General Assurance Reloaded promo. Just call them, and they will possibly help you get that. Not possibly. I mean, you are Mama, you're famous. You know, you'll probably get an autograph while they do that also from you. And insure your vehicle with them, that Imperial General Insurance, from now to the end of April, and you get yourself a handsome reward. Maybe ones who are coupon, you get it. You get it too. Special souvenirs, gift vouchers, and more. And here's the catch. During this reward period, your motor insurance policy will give you an automatic 1-year life insurance cover. That is awesome. You could also get brand new car tires. Maybe likes that, and I'm sure she's signing up already if she's not done so already. The other car accessories as well, it is reloaded. Everybody qualifies. Just come insure your car and you are done. Call them on 0577-667-436 or talk to your broker or any of our agents across the country for further details. You can also follow us on our social media handles. Terms and conditions apply. Imperial General Insurance, solid protection.
And Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, your #1 supplier of quality office essentials, equipment and furniture at affordable prices, has introduced an online store for your shopping convenience. What this means is that you can now shop by simply logging on to kingdomstoreonline.com, and they will arrange delivery to your home and office within a reasonable time. And they offer free delivery within Accra and time and accept payment via Momo across all networks. Terms and conditions, however, apply. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks.
And of course, SG Bank, Sound Drive Free Fuel campaign is also here. Start the new year with easy and secure movement with SG Ghana. Get reliable motor insurance and receive free fuel for your car. Buy or renew your Sound Drive insurance with SG Ghana from now till 31st March and get free fuel up to 500 for your trips. It's time to hit the road with reliable insurance and free fuels. Visit any SG Ghana brand today and get the cover you need for your car, plus free fuel to take you places. Sound Drive plan is underwritten by Alliance Insurance. Terms and conditions definitely apply to the State General Ghana. The future is yours. And Winston, as we've been saying, this is the launch of the election headquarters. We are the heart of Accra, heart of Ghana. This is the Accra Central Business District, the forecourt of the AMA. Right behind us is Mokola. Right to my left is the TUC building that represents the workers of this country. Yeah. Right to my right here, extreme right, is where Mama V schooled and recently graduated in Mokola. And then we have the Supreme Court building. Exactly. In front of us is the ministries. This really is the heart, is the melting pot of this country. We want to bring to our audiences, our electorate, programming that will equip them with information, equip them with the knowledge to make the informed choices on December 7. A few programs we've lined up for you this year to distinguish our branding and what we plan to do for the electorate in terms of helping them with the know-how as to what really are the issues that are informing people's decisions and bringing in also voices to help break down some of the complex issues, right? I want to start with some of the programming that you're familiar with already, that we are repackaging with a different vibe for this particular year. Ghana Connect, you know, is going to take on a whole new dimension this year. Watch. This year, we're partnering with Star Ghana. Yeah. We're going into the villages and communities for town halls with Ghana Connect. That, for me, is one thing that gets my heart just racing. When we sat down with them and they told us what they want to do this year, and the very obscure part of the country where they'll be holding these community derbas. And the community derbas are simple. It is derbas put together to get people's views in an attempt to influence the party's manifestos as they're drafting. So we're not waiting to start this in the middle of the year. We're starting it now. And we're going to be holding these town halls in villages where you hear real people in very obscure but undercovered, underreported, places that you possibly haven't heard before. We're going to go live and bring that to you. And the Ghana Connect vehicle is going to be delivering that. So you've been used to Ghana Connect in the studio. This year is going out. It's not only even going to be in Accra. It's going to go to the remotest parts of this country. And we are happy to be partnering with Star Ghana to deliver this.
And that's the most important thing, the fact that people get to tell us what would influence them, what their concerns are. And once we're starting early, the political parties would not say, we didn't know. Now you know. Tell us how you intend addressing the concerns of the electorate.
Another program you know before, and maybe you know this very well, is Constituency Watch. It's back, yes. And that, by the way, is Constituency Watch. Maybe you remember that. So this is a program that we're bringing back this year, again in partnership with Star Ghana. They have communities in which we've been working for a while, where we're focusing on health, education, and social interventions, right? And those are the three core themes for us and for Star Ghana. We're going to be going to the community, spending days, sometimes weeks, in a more deliberate way to capture the issues there. You put it together in the form of a documentary. So this is more investigative. We're bringing that to the table this year in an election year. You know, sometimes we talk about the issues, so we think we know the issues. Yeah. But when you spend time in the community, not a day, not two, but you spend a whole week or two, you become so immersed in it, you understand the issues from the people's point of view. So when you are telling the world from this particular constituency what the issues are is deep. And that's what we want to do this year with Constituency Watch.
And Winston is obviously very familiar with this. Sometimes we sit in Accra and somebody listening to you somewhere in some other region will be thinking, what is she talking about? That's not what's on my heart. That's not my priority. That's not my concern. So I'm really excited, especially because we're also concentrating on these 3 key areas with Constituency Watch.
And talking about staying in Accra and thinking that you know the issues. You know, I travel around the country a lot. And everywhere I go, they have different issues. And so we may be here and say, oh, it's about this, but people have different problems. Okay? You probably may say, oh, my road is bad. Well, you say they should tar my road. Somebody actually just wants a grading of his road because it's in such a deplorable state. You're talking about, you know, water tariffs being high. Somebody needs water. Okay? You're talking about, oh, electricity tariffs are high. Somebody just needs electricity. Somebody just needs a school. I mean, here you are saying, oh, my child went to school and they didn't get enough food to eat. Somebody has no secondary school. He has to walk lots of miles just to get to school.
Yeah, and we want to understand this intimately, not just talk about it. That's why we're going to spend time there in Constituency Watch. Guess what? Another group of people that often during the pre-election phase, we tend to ignore the first-time voters. First-time voters are absolutely critical to any electioneering process, and yet we exclude their voices from the campaigning and from hearing what they really think about these issues and the things that affect them very personally. So, Just Turned 18 is back. So yes, Mavi, Just Turned 18 is back. I know you have little children. You're not there to vote yet. But when they get there, you want their views. And again, we are partnering with Star Ghana. The first place we're going to go is New Jabbing. We're going to go to New Jabbing. You have been to New Jabbing?
Yes, I have.
That's Koforidua.
That's Koforidua. When Michael Berfi won the elections there, I was there to interview him. But why New Jabbing, somebody may ask?
Because we've already done polling and survey in that part, just sampling the views of first-time voters, young, voters, people who are just turning 18 and about to vote. So the research has already been done by another group that Star Ghana works with. They're going to work with us. So they already know the issues. We're now going to set up there and then use that data as a basis for a conversation. So we're not just going to plunge in there blind. We're going there knowing what we are going to see, but bringing the voices in to sort of flesh out the issues. And that's why we're going to New Jabbing.
I'm excited about Just Turned 18 because these are what the Gen Zs, right?
Yeah,
and sometimes
that's
their
how they call
perspectives
them, right?
are totally different from what we're thinking. So I'm really looking forward to that.
And indeed, we'll return with more because there are some fascinating shows that we haven't done yet or we're doing only for you this year. But guess what? As I've been saying, we want everybody's voice heard. You cannot prosecute any election year without the political parties and the political players. Right now, we have Ivor Greenstreet, who is joining us for a conversation. And my colleague, MFA Pau, is standing by with him live here somewhere at the Accra Central Business District. Hello, MFA Pau.
Hello, Evan.
And where are you?
I'm right here at the forecourt of the AMA, another part that you can't see me, I'm sure. But the conversation has already started with Ivor Greenstreet. I'm sure you've been wondering where he's been. The last time we saw him, I guess, was at the presidential primaries at the UPSA. Is it the presidential debate that we had at the UPSA? And I'm so excited to have him today join us. I would want to first take your election headquarters experience. At least you've been with us all through, and today is another launch towards the 2024 elections. Let me hear your election headquarters experience with us all this while.
Well, I've been summoned here by your bongo man. You know you have a strong bongo man at Joy FM.
Who is that woman?
It's not a woman, it's a man.
Oh, it's a man.
You don't know who this bongo man is?
No, I don't know. Bongo man. Okay.
His name is Sam
Mbra. You are brofilizing
the
bongo.
Your colleague, Sam Mbra.
Oh, Imbura.
His home, Imbura.
Okay.
His hometown is Bongo.
Oh, okay.
And he is the reason why I'm here. He has summoned me.
Okay.
And I'm very happy to be here. It's a very nice environment. And as usual, I'm very impressed with Joy FM and what they're trying to achieve. I think you've started early, which is good. And the environment you've chosen to hold this exercise I think it's well chosen, very apt. We are opposite some very beautiful trees, which look to me that they may be at least 100 years old. I don't know how long those trees have been there. Yeah. If you look at them, they look very, very old, and they've been well protected.
Which is good for the environment.
Very good for the environment. And so here is very breezy, a very nice environment. So we're all happy to be here to contribute to the discourse of our nation, to make sure that we try and ensure that election 2024 is about a contest of ideas, and it's about the oneness of Ghana. It's about our shared purpose and the common destiny of our people. So far, I believe in Ghana, it is the NDC with the former president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who has been active in the public space, and obviously recently the sitting vice president and now candidate of the New Patriotic Party, His Excellency Mahmudu Bawumia, who has been letting us know about all the taxes he's coming to impose upon us or take away from us.
Well, I'll talk about where you've been, but you've been talking about the state of this country. We're expecting a State of the Nation address in just about a number of days. But really, from where you sit and where you've been, at least you've been monitoring the scene for some time now, what would you say is the current state of the nation as you experience it?
Well, I think the state of the nation, if you look at the ordinary conditions of the large majority of the people of Ghana, it is nothing but a great difficulty and suffering for them. I think that the cost of living and the crisis that people are facing in their day-to-day lives, I'm sure is very overwhelming, and they're all carrying a huge burden on their day-to-day lives. And you don't get a sense that those in authority seem to care sufficiently about their condition. They claim to care, and they make statements that would imply that they care, but their actions and the facts that are obvious for everybody to see should demonstrate to them that all is not well with the state of the nation. They will claim that it's due to external forces or other reasons, and they will give us their usual platitudes and long stories. But if you look at things critically, and which is why election headquarters is important, to offer that space for people to take a close look at really what is going on and not be deceived by lies and not be deceived by sloganeering, which is what we have been witnessing for the last 30 or so years of the Fourth Republic, when really what you can see is that actually election headquarters can contribute to the emancipation of the long-suffering Ghanaian.
Yeah.
They need to be emancipated from exploitation, from oppression, from subjugation. They need to be emancipated from deprivation, discrimination, and most of all, degradation, because it is degrading to have so many people who are living in kiosks or have no roof over their heads, can't access health care, can't access work of any sort that will be able to sustain them and their families. So after all these years, we are still in a very difficult and dreadful situation. So I don't think the state of the nation should be anything that we ought to be proud about. However, you know and I know the message that will be given will be one of great success and great achievements, which we all know factually is incorrect.
Well, you talk about that situation that we are faced with, that degradation, that state that we find ourselves as a country. But really, the talk is about who brings that kind of emancipation that you talk about. The individual or the political party that will bring us that emancipation. The likes of you, people have said that you don't put yourself in that position to bring us that.
Ghanaians themselves have personal responsibility for what they do themselves in their own lives. So that includes being disciplined, that includes being diligent and hardworking, and carrying out their own strategies for their own existence. Not everything can come externally. But of course, yes, leadership is something that is critical in any nation's development. And so that is another reason why what Joy FM are doing with election headquarters which will lead to an examination of those who may or may not present themselves as leaders, is a very important exercise. We have a sitting vice president who I think recently spoke about the things that he wants to do.
Vision.
And I wasn't able to listen to it, and I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I know I heard something about a flat rate of tax and some sort of tax amnesty. And you and I know that actually that's a regressive tax, and we are all interested in something more progressive. When I say regressive, you would have thought, and maybe it is there, because I haven't read it, I don't know, there might have been a sunset clause or a clause stating, well, this will be the case for 1 year or for 2 years. Okay. It may be there, I don't know. But really a progressive tax, that one that taxes he or she who earns more over
of the Central Business District, you will know that the traders here are not just your ordinary traders. They are people who control multi-million cities, shops, multi-million dollar shop in the Central Business District. So they tell me that that is the kind of mindset, because they normally take critical decisions for their businesses. That is the mindset that they will be going into the 2024 elections with. They say that they will vote based on issues. They will not be influenced by party colorations. They will not be influenced by politicians who sweet talk them and act less. They say they will not be influenced by the rice, the sugar, and the peanuts that the politicians normally hand over to them when it's getting to elections. So I have a number of them here. We'll be having a conversation with them. But also, if you are a regular patron of the Central Business District, you would realize that there is a host of banks. There are a host of banks here. In fact, the Bank of Ghana has its headquarters in the Central Business District of Accra. All of these setups, offices that are in the Central Business District are not here just for being here sake. They are here for a reason, obviously, because of the kind of business that goes on here. So I have former workers who also have their offices here at the Central Business District. They've also joined us. We'll be having a conversation. And just as my colleague Abena said, we're doing this together. Let me start with you. What's your name, sir?
My name is Theophilus Amwa.
Theophilus, what would inform your decision, or what would influence your decision to vote in the December elections?
Okay, so thank you very much. For me, growing up as a youth in Ghana, so far the successive government and then the former government haven't met my expectations yet. Honestly, when you take issues of sanitation, that's my background. Let me start from there. When you take issues of sanitation, you come to the central of Ghana, which is Accra. As at 9 a.m., you see traffic, thinking that maybe there's a truck which is being causing the traffic, but you realize that you go and then there are huge sums of waste left. It can be 2 days, 3 days, and then this waste is causing traffic. Meanwhile, the government has contracted people, institutions to be dealing with sanitations in Accra, and then they neglect it. The government too, or the various stakeholders who are responsible to be checking all those things do not give an ear to it. So you see that we have sanitation issue. When you take the Odona and then also other areas in Accra, you realize that we have issues almost every now and then. We have issues of malaria, cholera, and other diseases which are killing the ordinary Ghanaian because we don't have money to go to the better health facilities. So therefore, we leave our sanitation abysmal, just like that. That is one. And then also when it comes to the unemployment rate, which is very high in the country, we say that the youth, the politicians have made it in a way that our mothers and then our uncles and then our fathers think that we the youth, we are very lazy, and then also we want quick way to make money. Let me take for example this fraud and then scamming that the youth, most of the youth are now doing. If you think about if you have come in an encounter with one or two of them, you realize that it is not just about sitting down, going to a malam to get something to do one or two things. Even some of them do not go to these malams. They sit back, they sit behind their computers, do in-depth reasoning. In there, sometimes they have to do hacking and all those things. Even convincing somebody to send you money is not an easy task, which is an intellectual property that I think that if the youth is given an opportunity to work so hard, they will do and then do best. But there are no opportunities. You go to our various universities, and then most of them now it's like the school is for fun. So you go to school, we do all sort of things. You complete, and then there is nothing for you to do. You are just left like that. Meanwhile, you've learned so much in you. There is so much in you that has to come out. But you need one or two things. You need a leader who would give you that opportunity to exhibit your intellectual property. But you realize that most of our leaders, they are not so much concerned about the next generation. They are concerned about now and then themselves. And then also, what Ghanaians do we expect? Ghanaians do not expect so much. When you take the Abraham Maslow story, for example, we need basic needs: good health, shelter, food, transportation, telecom. That is what we need. So why don't our leaders provide these basic needs for Ghanaians to ease things? But what do? They do not. They just leave us like that. Then you just have to find your way as a young person in Ghana to be what? To be successful. So for me, I think that there is more to just this election. All of us should be inclusive, from the youth to the elderly. We should be inclusive and then work so hard to make the so that the effort of our great grandfathers wouldn't be in vain. Because look, even as I'm here, I won't even travel. Why should I travel?
Of course. So definitely those are the issues that will inform your vote come December. Let me pick your thoughts. What's your name?
Joseph Oforward.
Joseph, what will influence your vote come December?
Okay, greetings to your viewers. I'm expecting the government to do more infrastructure on the education system, because there are so much complaints about the education. And also I'll talk about job. They should also create jobs for the youth so that the unemployed should be less. Thank you.
So you heard there, Joseph. He says that he wants more educational infrastructure. Definitely there are a lot more people who think that there's a lot that needs to be done before they will be convinced to vote for any party that puts itself for elections. We are still here at the Central Business District. My colleague Abena is standing by, who will also be interacting with a few of them. What are the aspirations of the people? What are their desires? What are their expectations? Abena, let's hear from your side.
Yes, I have a crum see a baby, Jumania Pescadia Quacosho, Fian and Swa. Almost the say, ye, Bacroma, Yantadia. Yabetina and Yamausa, the Abaquaca Crebe, the Faka could do fear. Not as I did, the Babachan, and I was here, I do know, and the economy so on Mampeni, as letter or Monchamaye. And I feel so, dollar and semi. Sicano was from my Yabes. O mobile channel maiden, o mama dollar number from Senebea, near my Ebabacrum near Obia to me at Toby, near to me at another fair face, a manual for our Ghana.
And to send your money to send on the more to message in Alberto.
And the other message in a palm, Mukro motivate sim amani power basso.
Medasiminia Bema Bako, Hameno, and one Cobanam Yamaba or by Chabeme and Abeme. Now, you're watching.
Yeah,
I feel we are about to have Fidiana was shedding Modiana bet say, when we have me into the Metroaba.
Oh, I feel the Mema is about to the main Tuaba. Mr. Matu NDC at to NPP. Ominomo Yepe. Ejumani Mem, who is cooking your Jumaye. Mia Metriba, your last born. The last one, SS, bed 3 years me, or pe Ami Mwako. Yes, you 15,000. As an agent, I didn't hear. Or call me up a several mine, yeah, Jenny Bly.
It's any price. It means I have 15,000 man or come in the bag. It's my brother's obey. Also, waiting for bribe. Uko soldier bribe. Uko police are bribe. Uko fire service are bribe. O man, I say, it's a maye who for so be a what about whom. I buy a fina as I bribe in the bio. And this time, everything about to at what million will be film. The mama is about the mean to about PM. Some number pay. One by your promises, baby, no more bad. On my feeling.
Now, sir, 15,000. I work and when I saw Jesus Cano.
Oh, yeah, sir. Yet of our forms failure. Any who penny bio area. Also, protocol. Nasca Mojini. Minimum of 18,000. Oh, man, communication man. Minimum of 18,000 each. Oh, no, but can I come? I didn't say your trauma, yes, sir. And so come from Roma to go to Milichi with free Air Force. That ain't yet some never cost and pay for nobody. There goes no minimum. So my so money. Grab a new post on my modo. Grab a post. I don't tell me to Abano. So we know we pay.
Mate, Mamena say, na, twaso, beba, mama, beba, bra. Brana ye monitor, bra, when who's work as a baby, I say, beba ho. Ohan saying, and yasem.
Me, I want to say, me, my chubby, me, penning for Amudi and him. See, I say, what's the idea? I'm a person who catch it. Yantinia may be as one, young one year theaters to a man. Any parent theaters to doors to a man pa. And a baller so groom. At the end, I'm going to sabola. Yet, that's not going to sabola. My, I'm not going to my needs. And can I crumble our higher too much? One, I remember me, Omuntia tast. And it's a 4 year by almost 1 year man in Omuntia tast. As a Fibia Dra and a man of Fanomutum. Say a 20 Ghana. A Fidra, as I saw to patrol Munti, almost today. 5 6 normally at 2. Maybe some man penny say, Miss Lumberbre. Say, I don't know Muntia tast. Don't we have one on my back creaming. Me to me free Chrome Ghana, may 100% me a Ghana neighbor. Me to me free Uncle be my Muntia tast. Because Misudo, Mantia better me. Now, soon it's a good chroma. I will be good chroma, will be a tast. Maybe some man penny for say, to say, sitting on the best years of my Ghana. Just got on the Comu Chrome. Mamma Bego almost says, say a bread, almost say a sodo. Our Wabacram will say a so. Yanyata mo omo tete omo sesesika omo ntuma mo jonso omo niema na efa my Ghana so saa enti ahome be ne yebo ye betimi ateno manim na omo so timi aba ye ho ban de toso mienu amu nya me kase na ne se aban bi aba fitiko 4 pence o change meter aban bi aba no a change meter aban bi aba no ma change meter de omo ya na kadu ba bia yete ase se yente ase e de kire se wo se meter na se ye gia ye yakasa ye asa ye nto ya de Ubana one turn a better soon. Say, Kofo Baye, or the Baye. Atamas assassin. Say, some person may catch a meter no one say. Some meter more de Ben, I know the Dodo. And no more to say, who baby at the meter Bremon. What's me to baby? Makoto meter 20 million. That's a massive dynamic. That's a meter. Be 7 penny for, and then maybe 3 as well. Omo Pedro Munomoncasa. A first about one, Omaja Yanto. Because someone thought too much. I'm sure I am too bad.
Me da say, Yamame Bako Makola and what's in Kano election headquarters, Kokromoti Power, Aisha Ibrahim, Ewa Aisha, somewhere.
I heard you speak with the lady. She was really charged, and she says that she may not vote. I think she should vote. She should vote because it's her democratic right. Okay, so I have here with me Ohini and Michael. Ohini, what will influence your votes come December?
Personally, what will influence my vote come December is the incessant increase in the prices of rent in the country. There are a lot of accommodation problems in the country, and then so many people find it difficult to get simple accommodation, which is a basic right and the necessity of the ordinary Ghanaian. And then secondly, the prices are so high. The government wanted to do some affordable housing, but then I see that it has not been to the best of effect for the citizenry, and then so many people are finding it difficult to get to get house to rent, and then also the prices are too exorbitant. So what will influence my vote is that if the rent does not come down, we are not going to vote. That is the simple issue. And then secondly, there are so many people that are going out of the country in the sense that they are the elite of the citizenry, the educated people, the educated masses, and then they are also going out of the country. That is brain drain. The country is currently facing a lot of brain drain, and then if the government does not do something about it, all the youth which are knowledgeable, all the youth who have the requisite knowledge to help the country grow will leave the country, and then that will be very detrimental to the nation. So I would urge the government and then anyone who will come after to help in building the facilities in terms of employment for the citizenry and then the youth, so that we will stop leaving the country.
That's what will influence your vote in December. So Ohene says he's much worried about the people, the young people who are leaving the country. Michael, what will influence your vote?
For me, I'm not voting. I'm not voting this.
Oh, why? You have to vote because it's your right.
Oh, no, because we've been voting, but we don't see any improvement.
If you don't vote, someone will choose a leader for you. So you definitely have to vote.
Oh, for me, I don't care actually, because if you want the youth or you want us to vote, then there should be an amendment of the constitution.
Why?
Because the constitution itself is corrupt. How can a president elect an EC? How can a president elect an IGP? So who checks the president? So the corruption starts from top to down. And secondly, to unnecessary implementation of taxes. There is no job. The youth are into mobile money. You brought e-levy. Fine, we didn't talk about it. So now we are into betting too. You are taxing betting too. So what do you want us to do? Look at this exchange rate. Thirdly, exchange rates are too high. We are in the informal sector. Buying and selling is difficult for us. Customers are complaining day in and day in, day out. So these are the things that triggers me not to vote this year, because it's always the same.
So if it happens that you are convinced that you want to vote, what will inform your decision?
Who will vote?
What will inform your decision? What will make you vote for Party A or Party B?
If I see these drastic changes, the party that is in power, that enable these radical changes, I'll vote for that party.
So you heard from the horse's own mouth. They say that this year's election will be issue-based. They will not allow the politicians to take them for granted. They will look at the politicians, what they present to them. They will question them. They will ask them to account to them before they take the decision to vote for whoever. They have mentioned education, they've mentioned employment, they've mentioned a whole lot of issues that will influence their decision to vote for them. Let me hand over to you, Evans and his team at the AMA office, where we're launching the election headquarters. My name is Aisha Ibrahim, and I've been doing this at the center of the Central Business District.
Of what is going to be informing people's votes this year. Really, Winston, this is what elections are all about. It's about the people. Forget about what you hear on radio. The voices we just heard there from Mokola, and in between, sandwich between Mokola and Kantamanto, where I used to buy my bend-down boutique, proud of it. They really tell you the sense, the mood of the country, and that's what we just heard.
Exactly, and we've consistently said that, look, while on radio and television, we only represent what you say. And so it's always important to know what your thoughts are. And that's why it's relevant today that the people who matter the most, the electorates, get to tell us what will be influencing their decisions. And the political parties are here. I hope that they are listening. And that would influence the decisions they make. That would influence their party manifestos in the build-up to the 2024
and you know what I'm looking forward to now? I'm looking forward to our live crossover to Kumasi, Swami Magazine. Oh, my God. I'm really waiting to hear their views.
I was in Kumasi over the weekend.
Oh, you were?
And I tell you what, look, well, let's wait. But normally birthday messages here on the Super Morning Show, brought to us by MTN Everywhere You Go, Bank of Africa, the African bank with global reach, Bank of Africa, strong as a group, as close as a partner, and the Sports Center, also brought to us by MTN Everywhere You Go, Twisco Energy Food Drink from Promacedo Company Limited, Twisco Power Your Dream, and Standard Chartered Bank here for good.
And big stories on the Super Morning Show brought to you by Latest Film, your partner for life.
Well, Valentine just gone by, but I'm pretty sure you...
We're still in the month of love, man.
What did you do in the sofa? Anything? You slept in it? Watched television in it?
I'm budgeting for the V-shaped.
Oh,
V-shaped.
Oh my God.
I like Evans's emphasis.
On, well, Winston, you don't get out of my head. Well, your dream sofa is now a reality as latest foam. V-shaped, L-shaped, whatever. Introducing a sensational, oh yeah, Mama V, you know it.
Yeah.
The V sofa ring, where comfort meets style at prices that will make your heart skip a beat. Who really wrote this for latest foam? The V-shaped sofa, heart skipping a beat, hop into a latex foam showroom nationwide to dive into a world of colors and choices from the sleek L-shape, V-shape that just...
So interesting that you spoke about young people. We have a special situation with that. And in fact, they're part of the program we're starting today because we're going to be engaging those young people who are going to be voting for the first time. Beyond that, I'm sure you also heard of the Ghana Police Service here saying that as it has been through last year and this year, they are hoping that they'll be able to maintain the peace so that no lives are lost like we saw, unlike what we saw in 2020. But in terms of policy, there are so many policy directions that are coming to the fore from different parties. What are you looking at?
For young people, a key concern we have is unemployment. So we are looking for policies that would have sustainable employment. We've seen a lot of policies that come and they will address unemployment, but it's not sustainable in the long run. So we're looking for policies that will give us sustainable employment over time, policies that will address sanitation, policies that will address poverty, policies that will make sure that we, the youth of Ghana, are counted in, we are top of mind to the stakeholders, and our needs are being met.
Well, I always say this, whenever there's talk about unemployment, we leave it there. How about underemployment, where maybe you've trained as an architect, an accountant, or something else, or well-vested in or well-versed in statistics, and you end up doing something completely different from that. So interesting perspective so far, policy and what do you expect as a young person. But let's focus a bit on the UNDP, right? Some of the initiatives you are bringing on board in respect of young people, the youth. What can you tell us?
So last year, the UNDP had the Ballot Without Bullets initiative, where they ran advocacy on electoral violence and advocating for peace for elections. This year, they are bringing it back with the I Pledge for Peace campaign, where they package content that speaks to education on elections and peace campaigns. So we are very much excited about sharing this information with the general public to know that indeed the young people, women, children, everybody is looking for peace, and we should stick to making sure we have a peaceful election.
All right. Right before we wrap up, I'd like to find out from you, so what then is your call? You're standing here, let's say on behalf of all young people in Ghana. What is your call to government, to political parties, to the different actors, the police and all of that? What is your call?
Young people are not just a statistic. We are a huge part of Ghana's population, and as such, we need to be empowered. We need to be equipped. We need to be educated with what we can do to help this electoral process. So I call on all stakeholders to make sure that we enjoy the peace that we have now, before, during, and after election. And even for young people, I call that we become advocates for peace ourselves. We have social media. Let's use our social media for constructive engagement. Let's not share misinformation. Let's make sure we are fact-checking the information we receive before we share. And let's also ensure that our rights do not end just at the ballot box. We need to ensure that the stakeholders that make promises before and during, we hold them accountable to all of those, and then they are able to live up to their expectation.
All right. Any final tidbits? It's an electoral year. What are you expecting? Any final expectations?
Peace.
Peace.
I only want peace so that young people can thrive in a peaceful nation. So I always pledge for peace, and I hope every other young person, every part of this country is also pledging for peace.
All right, let's put it there for peace.
For peace.
That's how it is. So after this engagement, of course, I've been speaking to Jacqueline, who is a UNDP co-chair. We've had this conversation now. We'll be heading over to Kumasi right now. Jacqueline Johnson-Quay is co-chair, UNDP Youth Sounding Board. But we're heading to Kumasi now because we're also going to have some interactions from their engagements. Nana Yaojima is standing by for us all the way from Kumasi in the Ashanti region. Nana Yaojima, if you can hear me, over to you in Kumasi.
One of the issues that rank highest. But what we would do is that once we're done with all the polling and everything. We then will put these figures, these results to the political parties, as in members of parliament or aspirants. So those who are seeking to represent the people. Now, while you are not, they're not expected to be in charge of development, they say they go ahead and lobby. So we'd get their members of parliament to address these concerns. We'd have MMDCs who are also within the constituencies, all the districts, coming up to address the concerns. And we can't wait for this year to start. I'll be traveling the length and breadth of the country to engage all these political parties and the electorates.
And it's the one program, because of this very scientific nature, that gives you the clearest indication what's going to happen in the election because you can cluster them and you can actually put percentages, quantify them, and then if you match it to people's reality, you get to know instantly how they'll be voting. In 2016, by the time we're done, we knew what was going to happen in the elections. And the parties, I remember all the parties were calling me to see if they can get the data. And so ballot box is back this year. We also going to be having this year, the minority and the majority caucuses are back. And this, for me, is one of the vehicles that it's also very unique in its own structure.
It is.
We're not going to do the joint caucuses. The minority caucus is a show where the minority party, as in the NDC, will host themselves.
Yeah.
They will determine the content. Of course, we will have editorial supervision and the final say on that. But there's a collaborative effort there where they come into the studios and they pitch their own ideas to you within the confines of the editorial rules that we'll set for them. And then we'll have the majority caucus too, done by the NPP. They also come in with their own people. They'll host it themselves. They bring their own guests. And that is also back this year. And this year, we are partnering, as you know, Winston, with a host of organizations to deliver the content that we've planned for you. We don't want to do this alone. And Star Ghana is helping us execute part of this. But another program that I'm looking forward to is fact-checking. Fact-checking is starting this very Wednesday. And we're not waiting, because already, as you see, claims are being made. Pronouncements are being made by political actors. We want to be fact-checking that. And, Raymond and his team will be leading that immediately from here. We have Voters' Voice. A bit of that you've heard here today already.
Yeah.
Where we put the microphone in a marketplace. This is not a mediated conversation. We put a microphone there. Ordinary people just approach the microphone and they speak into the microphone without us mediating at all what they believe are the issues of importance to them and what the parties should look for. I believe we can get a bit. Go to Kumasi. Okay, I want to cross over now to Nana Yaojima. You can hear in the background the sirens blaring. This, after all, is the sounds of the Accra Central Business District. Let's go to Swame Magazine. Let's feel the sights and sounds of Nana Yaojima. And then I'm watching Yadom standing by right now to give us a sense of what people in the Ashanti region are talking about as we approach the elections. Hey, Nana Yaojima.
Place when it comes to the economy of the Ashanti region. Also, when we talk about politics in the region, Swame Magazine remains relevant. Not long ago, the leader of the opposition National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, was here at Swame Magazine as part of his tour of the Ashanti region. He engaged artisans here. Over the years, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo and all other presidential aspirants have been to the Swame Magazine, the industrial enclave. It has about 50,000 artisans and other traders within the enclave. So it should tell you the numbers they have here and also the significance of Swame Magazine when it comes to elections in the Ashanti region. Mind you, Ashanti region remains the stronghold of the new Patriotic Party, and it's an area that the NDC is targeting, winning a certain threshold of votes when it comes to the Ashanti region. So it's very relevant and it has an overwhelming influence on elections in the country. They're not watching to run us through the numbers of the Ashanti region when it comes to election. We are talking particularly the 2020 general results for the general election in 2020.
And so, looking at the Ashanti region, the region is inevitable when it comes to the entire political discourse. In 2024, the region would definitely play a significant role, looking at how the interest has been over the years. In 2020, Nana, we must say that it was a moment for the NDC to make a say, and they did make a say, although the NPP pulled some 1.7 million votes in the Ashanti region. They also managed to garner some over 600,000 votes from the Ashanti region, making it an important region when it comes to the whole political discourse. And so in 2024, December 7th, the Ashanti region will remain an important region when it comes to political conversations. And then looking at Swami Magazine, it has become an important area when it comes to politics because of the numbers, the huge numbers we have here at Swami Magazine, with over 50,000 artisans, traders included. It is going to play a significant role. And so each politician, flag bearer from NDC and NPP, would be looking forward to interact with artisans over here. And that is why your election headquarters in the Ashanti region is situated at Swami Magazine.
So not long ago, I spoke about John Dramani Mahame's visit to the Ashanti region, and during his visit there was a 24-hour economy walk, and it saw a lot of people who are in support of that campaign policy coming onto the street to work with John Mahama and sensitize the people about the 24-hour economy. He ended his tour of the Ashanti region here at Swam Magazine, where there was an engagement with artisans and some traders here at Swam Magazine. I have with me one of the people who spoke with John Mahama, or who spoke to John Mahama when he visited the area, and he is the leader of Electric Warders Association here in Swam Magazine. So I'll talk to him briefly for him to give me what they expect from these political parties, their manifesto and their campaign promises when it comes to what he does in the Swam Magazine. In Wakawama JoyNews, I didn't say more expected from politicians here course election room.
The materials ni ma ye hia no oma enema ni nyina anya quality said omo ye no no omo ye ne quality wa ma na face e bo enyina fa akoma yen because that dey ne bia ne bo omo ye de omo ton nti e ba sa wo diska kwa na akoto a wo kwa ha bo nko ba ha bo nko nti so oba na samazi o nani be help say oba bo amazi am ye nya adwuma na koso de a oma materials ni nyina de enwura form na mpama ye
nti sa ne ma we be influence o decision na nipa beto man.
Oh, I know the some in some mama dear or Penibia or bar with Yaman for and some minara. And I feel so machines near the year, you man. Say that I need they say maybe to some material machines I buy our machine. What is I feel now? Because so what work out on be every machine road 9 in our woman to also in our not just a Eden. I know my man away and finish in the air come.
So essentially what he is saying is that he expects whoever wins this election to ensure that he gets them the proper tools for their work, and also with the materials they believe that it's about time that there's standard price for these materials. So he's expectant of whoever comes into office or whoever believes that he wants to win. He wants them to look at these areas that is very, very instrumental when it comes to the job they do here in the Swam Magazine Industrial Enclave.
So I have with me Mohamed, who is also a scrap dealer, and then we'll be interacting with him on his expectations ahead of the December 7th elections. Mind you, the NDC has elected its flag bearer, and the NPP has Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, who will be leading the NPP. So what are your expectations going into December 7th?
Okay, my expectation on December 7th, I want, if any of them comes, on 2010, the government put an ally to put a ban on scrap to be exported outside Ghana. And with this, it is disturbing us because these days the local industries in Ghana, when they receive the scraps, they don't pay the money regularly. Sometimes they even reduce it. And because of that, it's reducing our income for the business. And most scrap dealers are even running out of the business. And we want, when any of them, when they come, they should try and do something on the LI they put on the parliament for the exportation of scraps.
Let's look at both parties, the NPP and the NDC, electing their flag bearers. What do you want their manifesto to look like?
For me, for scrap dealers, we want their manifestos to go more on the magazine. The artisans in magazine, they should try and do something about us. There are most people who are here working. Some are even graduates that have completed school and they don't have job to do, and they have turned into the magazine to do something. And so I want the government to help the artisans in magazine.
What is going to influence your decision come December 7th? Finally, on that.
Currently, we know both of them, when they promise, they don't deliver. So we are expecting something from the current government. He should start doing something right now, so that we know that, oh, when he comes again, he can do something.
And so you are expecting both of them to put you or to make your needs reflect in their manifesto, basically that?
Yes.
All right. So this is an artisan here at Swami Magazine, and he says that definitely their manifesto should have their needs included. And so I'll leave it to my colleague Nanaya Jima to take over from them.
Artisans trooping in to engage us on their thoughts when it comes to the upcoming election. I have with me another gentleman who is one of the leaders of these artisans. Sir, tell us your name and what exactly you do.
I'm Kinsley Mangaria, a Foundryman Association.
So what will influence your choice when it comes to the 2024 general elections?
Okay, you are praying that if God gives us permission, life, and we are able to reach, we have required a land, about 30 acres, which even we are planning to do all these jobs, machinery and all this induction finance. You can't require, you don't have money to do this also, this subject. So if God bless, and anyone who wins can help us to rebuild what we are doing.
So you are requesting for an industrial enclave to help you?
Yeah, because we need a machines, induction finance, which we can do a lot of things. Foundry is very important in Ghana because they hold all these parts and all these things. We can manufacture everything so that it will help Ghana in future.
All right, thank you very much, sir. So already we have some associations within the Swam Magazine Enclave who have already acquired some space for their work. Already there is a research that says that the place, the present place, that the Swam Magazine Industrial Enclave is overcrowded, so they have to decongest. Now some of these associations have been able to acquire lands at various areas, and they expect whoever wins the election to help them develop these areas, help them with other resources to improve conditions in these areas so that they can also work there.
All right, so I have with me the Ashanti Regional Guta President, Anthony Opon, and also he would be sharing with us some one or two things we are to expect from these political actors going into the crucial December 7th general elections. And so, Mr. Opon, you've heard from the Vice President, you've heard from John Mahama, in fact, the Vice President on his vision some weeks ago. And what is your basic analysis on that and your expectation generally on December 7th?
Good morning and thank you for having me. I will firstly comment on the Vice President, and I will say that most of the policies that he came up with are in favor of business development, and we think if they are carried through, it will help our business development, and it's a very good and noble idea that we will like him and we encourage him to make sure when he comes, he will carry them to the letter, and it won't be just a slogan or normal promises as they used to say, or political talk as they say. We want them to carry that because we believe policies and programs are meant for the development of the country. And so this time around, we are expecting well-thought programs, practicable solutions to the problems of this country, and not just slogans.
Not just slogans, not just any other policy, but then a policy that is going to influence your decision or come December 7th. And so what do you want them to sit down and do to make sure that you feel included?
Yeah, talking about the businesses, first, we know most of our imports, most of our goods are imported from our side. So we want the stabilization of the dollar. The dollar must be stabilized so that we can make forecasts and programs as far as business is concerned. Because as it is now, you can't program anything. Today the dollar is 12.5, the next day is 13, the next day is 13.5. So it makes planning difficult as far as business is concerned. So we're expecting a stabilized dollar. And in doing so, we want the government to make sure that we reduce the imports to the barest minimum as far as most of the things like food importation is concerned. We have an arable land which can produce enough for us, but we've been so much lazy over the years as far as ideas are concerned concerning agriculture. So this time around, we want well-thought agricultural programs where land acquisition may be easy for anybody who wants to embark on commercial farming, so that we can farm in large quantities to produce enough for us than importing onions, tomatoes, and everything from outside country. It's not helping us. So we want well-thought programs, that achievable ones, that will help this country. Irrigation must be a priority, and large-scale farming must be a priority. Cheap loans to farmers must be a priority. Sales, as far as marketing of the farm products, preservation of the product, all these things must be well thought and programs well tailored for it, so that it won't be just rhetorics and slogans that doesn't achieve anything.
Lastly on that, as an important association, what are your expectations from the Electoral Commission to ensure free, peaceful election in December 7th?
Oh, as far as the election is concerned, it's the fate of this country. So we are expecting a free, fair, transparent election devoid of any mechanizations or manipulations.
All right, thank you so much. And that is the Ashanti Regional Guta President, Anthony Opon, telling us what he is expecting from the EC political actors when it comes to their manifesto and also generally on the crucial 2024 December elections. And so my colleague Nanaya Ojima would have other associations with him.
Joining us now is the mechanics here, the engineers, the nucleus of the Sun Magazine Industrial Enclave, and they are the main reason for the establishment of this area. So I think they will have a lot to say. Monsem Dosso, Anna?
Yes, I'm Dosso, baby.
So, in some ways,
okay, first of all, from me, Kojo Abuaji. I don't know from magazine data. We represent Industrial Engineers Association. But as a whole, no, you share magazines in general. Asema can say I'm some magazine by Achapa so many years now since the establishment of this magazine. But in to me for product in Adibia Mba Abonte. And because of that and my government, you know, society government now penny free outside China and other areas and a deba on my meanwhile you engineers ni nipo be brave magazine ha. The best me aye nema hodo be bra enti say the free Abonte eba Ghana ha. But because of say abanin twen ani magazine nipa woman near between Ayentino. All the time, no, omani share abonting and a copy person money na eba. But say a bre aso say a buy a hodwa eba magazine, nimpenim for hodwa association of Ghana industries nano. Omucho many share swami magazine. Na and never be wa, you to me ya, here say be free abonting baby, a bagana my muha. Because never be bromode bano, yet me ya who edge my waha. Umpobi home go fabakwana. This is a sign a young woman and sign it to me a year. You must say the person is a year. Now a brass send our buy no din and Nibesha. No, ye ni pebino, yes, baby, no boy, said a bear. Yes, you bet me at 10 years, yet to me a year magazine.
Thank you very much. So he says it's about time that the country takes its future into its own hands, support these artisans here, and ensure that they are able to manufacture or innovate so that it can help ease or reduce the importation that is being done by the country. So we've been here at Sun Magazine engaging these artisans on what will influence their decision come 2024 this year. That's December or whenever the EC may decide to hold this election. It's been Nanaya Ojima with
Nana Boache Dankwa Yadom.
Thank you very much.
Yadom, live from Swami Magazine. Very interesting views there. You get a sense of how they're thinking and what will influence your votes this year. It will come back here for a conversation. As you can see with me right now, we have the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Bande, with me. We also have the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, my good friend Haruna Mohammed, with me. Of course, Winston is still here. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll hear from the two political parties. The Electoral Commission will come thereafter. In between that, we'll cross over to the Northern Regional Capital. Right after we've heard from the two reps from the NDC and the NPP. And I've said they will be giving us a pledge, a commitment to peace. And then also, we will also lay out for you the rest of our program this year. The reason why you need to stay with the election headquarters. We are back. Very much for staying with us. This is your election headquarters, and you are live here from the forecourt of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. A short while ago, I just noticed that the Deputy Commissioner of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Bosman Asari, just arrived, and we're delighted that he could join us. We also have Parliament represented here today. The Speaker of Parliament has sent a very strong personality to represent them. It's your good friend of yours. Who is he?
That's Kofi Atto.
Yes.
Kofi Atto, former member of Parliament for Ho Central, former Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, former Vice Chairman. I don't know whether he still is. He's not. Former Vice Chairman of the NDC is here. So he's no longer Vice Chairman of the NDC. So former Vice Chairman of the NDC. He's here representing the Speaker.
The Speaker, so he's representing Parliament, and so you want to stay with us. We're going to hear from them. That's how we'll end, actually. We'll end with the Electoral Commission and hear from Parliament as we wrap up here on the day when we launch the election headquarters.
But Evans, before we continue, let me just indicate that you can join us with your social media messages. Social media messages here brought to us by EcoBank, A Better Way, A Better Africa, and Provident Insurance. With Provident Man, you are covered.
And indeed, Provident Man, you are covered. Every day, people face different emergencies, police emergency, fire emergency, medical emergency, you name it. But many Ghanaians don't know the emergency numbers. Well, here is one you would want to remember. Is *770 hash. Yes, *770 hash is the new EcoBank Money emergency number. It gives you instant access to loans, fund transfers, utility payments, airtime, data purchases, and so much more, even without data. So there's no need to panic when you find yourself in any money emergency. EcoBank will always come to your rescue. Dial *770 hash now for solutions to your money emergencies. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
And you can now get your vehicle insured anywhere, anytime with Providence or Baya on WhatsApp. She works around the clock, so you don't have to worry about closing times. I mean, babya. Buy, renew, file claims for your vehicle. Babya. All you have to do is chat or Baya on 0242 426 396 and let her help you. It's quick, convenient, reliable, and saves you time so you can do more in your day. Chat or Baya and get your vehicle insured now on Provident Insurance. So test your Baya, babya, with Provident Man, you're covered. And the Business Minute, normally brought to us by Consolidated Bank Ghana CBG. We stand with you, and Anointed Electricals, the generator experts.
Okay, and talking about that, we also have Anointed Engineering Services Limited. They are into sales of ultra-silent generators from 5 kVA to 2,500 kVA, and we undertake maintenance and repairs of all kinds of diesel generators as well. We also stock genuine spare parts of all kinds of various generators, and also do generator rentals. I need them actually to come and fix my generator for me, because in the last few days, Wingsing, have you noticed the lights keep going off at a particular time and come back at a particular? That's a conversation we need to have. Now, that's why I'm going to be calling Anointed Engineering Services right from here. They have branches nationwide. You can locate our latest branches in Amrahia. That's the Frames Oil on the main Adenta Dodowa Road, East Legon, Lagos Avenue Road, opposite the Tom Rick Hotel, the Tema General Hospital Road and Community 9, just after the overhead Kaswa, off the Weja Kaswa Road near the Sima Cement Depot, and at Odoko, where we have our head office, number 77, Anointed House off the Odoko Malam Road. Accra hotline is 024-3480-334.
And are you a salaried worker in need of financial support before your next paycheck? You need funds to solve urgent financial needs. Access up to 400,000 with CBG's salary-backed loan products at competitive interest rates. Acquire that at plans you've been dreaming about. Settle your overdue rent, complete that project at home, and do more with our salary-backed loans. Visit any of our 114 branches nationwide and explore a variety of salary-backed loan products, including salary advance, payday loan, Dream Life personal overdraft, controller, and PESA term loans, all with flexible repayment conditions. For further inquiries, call us on 0302 216 000. Email us, talk to us at cbg.com.gh, or visit any of our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Terms and conditions apply. CBG, we stand with you.
And joining us for a conversation now, the two main political parties. Mustafa Gbande is with the NDC. He's the Deputy General Secretary there. With us also is Haruna Mohammed, who is the Deputy General Secretary for the NPP. And gentlemen, before we even start in the conversation about the election headquarters and what to expect this year from the parties, we need a pledge from you. I want to start with the Governor New Patriotic Party. Give us a pledge for peace and to also run a campaign of decency that only leads to the key issues being articulated and discussed and people going to vote and coming back home safely without us talking about lives lost. I want a pledge from you. What's the pledge on behalf of your party?
Thank you very much, Evans. First and foremost, I would like to say good morning to the cherished viewers out there and my good brother, Mustafa Bandi, from the NDC. We in the NPP has always been the beacon of democracy in Ghana, and we have always championed the cause of peace and making sure that the Ghanaian citizens get what they want. And that is why our motto is development in freedom. You can't develop in freedom when there is no peace. And I believe that the New Patriotic Party, we will continue to ensure that the peaceful elections in Ghana will be assured, and we will contribute our quota to ensure that there is peace before, peace during, and peace after the elections. I am happy that we are sitting here today and we are going to pledge our peaceful coexistence to ensure that there is peace after these elections. And I would have wished that my colleague would have gone ahead to do it before me. Before then, you know, he had called for the NDC people to go to the polls.
All I want from you to do...
Yes, so I have to premise that because every message has a foundation.
We'll come to the discussion.
Every message has a foundation.
The commitment for peace is important.
Yeah, I want to.
Once you've done that,
I want to firm
your commitment. Your commitment for peace. We'll come
with all sincerity. You know,
I don't want any other thing to come in between your commitment for peace and the discussion you're going to have. So this is what I want to do for me. This is what I want to do for me instead. Before we wrap up and come to him for his commitment, mention your name and say, I commit to peace. Because we want to hold you and your party commit to peace. Just say
all right. So I will say that. But before I just say that, you know, I would not go to the polls with cutlass. I won't go there.
I hear you.
And as a result of that, I, the Deputy General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, will uphold peaceful coexistence, peaceful elections to ensure there is peaceful governance after victory for the 2024 general elections. The NPP pledges to ensure that there is peaceful. We'll contribute our quota to peaceful elections and contribute our quota to peaceful coexistence.
Mustafa, commitment.
Thank you very much, Evans. The NDC...
I was trying to stop him from going there, so go straight to the
NDC have always been part of the institutions that have championed peace and stability for this country. And the NDC is a rallying point for the poor people, the relegated in our society. But we have actually been with the people. And governance is about managing people, putting food on the table of Ghanaians, relieving Ghanaians of hardship and burdens. It's about survival. This is our country, and we must live in it peacefully. And so you cannot have so without peace. On behalf of the General Secretary of the NDC, Honorable Fifi Javi Kote, on behalf of the National Chairman, Johnson Asedun Ketia, and our flag bearer, who is going to be sworn in as president, the NDC represent peace. We stand for peace. We will be the stakeholders to champion peace into the 2025 election. I was very sad when I saw Bosman Asari. I mean, being...
No. I made the same point to him, no. So now I want you to mention your name and say, and on behalf of your party, you commit for peace.
My name is Mustafa Bandi, the chief bodyguard of the General Secretary of the NDC, Honorable Fifi Javi Kote, as his deputy. I stand for peace before, during, and after 2024 election. We also want to use this opportunity to call on the media, the security agencies, the Electoral Commission, and all other major stakeholders of the NDC, of this election, to put Ghana first. It's about Ghana, it's about the people of Ghana, it's about the governance of Ghana, it's about the progress of the people, it's about the rest of the people. Once we are all guided by that principle, then totality, we are speaking out of the same voice.
Okay, Wilson?
Well, so let me just start off and find out from them. And I'd like to start off with you now, Mustafa Bande. So let's look at 2024. And as we look at 2024 elections, before even you come to tell us what you expect of us, what is the NDC's preparation going into this election?
The NDC is prepared to champion an issue-based campaign. Because, mind you, the coming back of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is about infrastructure drive. It's about complementing that infrastructure drive with livelihood events, relieving the ordinary. So it's issue-based. It's going to be strictly about the standard of living of the people. It's going to be what our current state is and what the future holds in the hands of the NDC. It's about what our brothers, what opportunity they've had, and what they have turned that opportunity into, and what we will do differently. I mean, basic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama says, in a Greek, I would have, in the northern sector, every constituency would have agri service centers. We'll have 15 tractors, including other farm implements, put in every constituency. My brother and his president says, one district, one factory, one village, one dam. They didn't do it. Can we do it as the NDC? Yes, because if you look at a track record of promises made by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, for which he's fulfilled, the basic ones that were made by President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and of course, never did it, but said they have done it. One example is the issue of the one village, one dam. We all know that they never constructed anything. They took loans, they virtually
They never constructed any dam, you're saying?
They never constructed a dam.
They constructed dams.
That is not a dam.
How do you call it?
That is money shared for party cronies to go and dig that
what
out.
you saw, how do you call it?
Is it functioning? If you...
But I'm asking you what you saw. How do you call it?
Dugouts. Ghanaians' money have been used to construct dugouts. No person will allow his business to be run like that. My brother will not allow his business to be run like that. President Akufo-Addo will not allow his business to be run like that. And certainly, we should not use money belonging to the state to, into some of these ventures.
Okay.
It's about life. As we speak, if you look around your surroundings, you still see the KIAs. The vice president promised that when he is made a vice president and when he comes to power, they were going to make sure that the KIA thing is over.
I'll get back to you. Let me get to Haruna. Haruna, what's your preparation at the NPP?
Winston, we in the NPP are fully prepared for election 2024. You saw the processes that we have started. Where we are today, we have been able to get all leaderships from the constituency level, that is the polling station, electoral area, to constituency level. We moved on to have our leadership at the regional level, then to the national level. From there, we went ahead to elect the flag bearer of our party. Then we went in to also elect our representatives who will be standing on the ticket of the new patriotic party for the December parliamentary elections. From there, we had our flag bearer went on to deliver a bold vision that has engendered a lot of discussions that we are moving into the political landscape.
That tells you,
Mustafa, hold on.
That tells you
how, allow him to finish.
That is how the MPP is prepared, because Dr. Bawumia in his victory speech was clear in his mind that he's going to be a man on his own. And going into the elections, we don't take Ghanaians for the joke. And that is why clearly we are not seeking for honeymoon and we are presenting the vision of the new patriotic party, the vision of His Excellency the Vice President and the incoming President of the Republic through the powers of the people of Ghana. So it is very clear. Today, there will be a decision to determine who will be the forces on the campaign, and that tells you that the final stage will be crowned by presenting to you the running mate. And that is how prepared the new patriotic party is. We are not just interested in governing, but we are interested in creating an impact on the minds and the floor of the people of Ghana.
You keep talking about the presidential candidate, the vice president will be his own man, he's committed to being his own man. Why is the NPP insisting on Bawumia being his own man? What is it that Akufo-Addo has done that the NPP is running away from?
Bawumia has not run away from anything that Akufo-Addo has done. Bawumia has been very bold and very sincere to the good people of Ghana that when you are going for a job interview, and clearly if you are seeking to become president of the Republic of Ghana, it is a job that you're seeking the people to use their thumb through a democratic process to give you the chance to govern. The two of them, one has gotten that opportunity before. The other one never got the opportunity to insist. The other one had the opportunity and blew that away. He's coming back to seek for an opportunity he had before. One has never had that. One only has the opportunity to assist His Excellency the President. So the other one, in his bid as having the constitutional mandate to govern, had to appoint 3 wise men to advise him as to what he has to do. He indicated in his own book, My First Coup d'etat, and he said, as a young man riding bicycle down the lane, he could not take a decision on his own as a young man. Eventually, when he became president, he had to appoint 3 wise men to advise him. So His Excellency the Vice President has enumerated what he did as Vice President. As Vice President, vis-a-vis what John Mahama did as Vice President. I give you one. When His Excellency Professor Mills gave him the opportunity to lead in the discussions of the Embraer and the Airbus issue, he had to set a committee to be able to investigate him. When the Vice President was given the opportunity to renegotiate the cost on mobile money interoperability, he took it. The budget that the NDC wanted to implement was $1.2 billion. He took it to $4.5 million. These are the 2 gentlemen we are talking about. Cost-saving president, and then a bloated and a government official one. These are the 2 things we are looking out as people of Ghana, and these 2 gentlemen are very paramount to our implementation.
With the greatest of respect, I would have thought that his best bet of having been prepared for election 2024 would be on the achievement of the government. I can tell you that the 73-page document prepared by the Vice President, the sitting Vice President, who is the leader, the flag bearer of the NPP, was full of lies. And if a Vice President can lie,
what were the lies?
On arrival, he says he's built toilets all over the place. Do you have toilets in your community? That is one. There are lots. Lies. Full of lies. Full of lies. But we are saying, even today, the meeting they are going with their president, all the appointees under His Excellency Akufo-Addo have lost credibility. The NPP is in town shopping for running candidates to partner Dr. Bambu. Because they have a running mate. They believe that they have run out of credibility to go before the people of this country and say, give us mandate again. I'm just telling you, right in your faces. The KIAs are still here, right in your faces, planting for food and jobs. There's nowhere to be found. They have not shown us a single farm. No single farm. They have said that...
I've not seen any beneficiary.
We haven't seen any farm. They said they have built...
They said they were going to support farmers.
Not
as if they were going to build
a farm. We are given promises. We are holding them to their current manifestation. And I'm saying that let the NPP show us a single farm. They said they have built 1 village, 1 dam. Show us where the dams are. They are scratching their head. They have built 1 district, 1 factories. Show us the factories. They are scratching their head. They are pointing us to B5. NPP cannot say that B5 is not under their policy of 1 district, 1 factory. But you and I know that B5 was established in 2022. So when did it become part of 1 district, 1 factory? So clearly, a team of people who believe that they must be deceptive, a team of people who will take for granted all Ghanaians and our circumstances we find ourselves. The reality and the real economy is that teachers are suffering. The reality and the real situation is that nurses are suffering, farmers are suffering, families are suffering, workers who pay 30% of their salary in taxes are suffering because of corruption.
Well,
corruption in this government.
And I know,
corruption by the appointees.
if we leave the two of you, we'll go at this until evening. But we don't have much time.
I'm happy for one program that you'll be doing,
which is what?
Which is part of this, the purpose of which we are here, which is fact checking.
Fact checking, yeah.
You see, if you go and do the fact checking, you realize that Dr. Bawumia has never made a single promise that will be aligned to what he's talking about.
But all the promises made by President Akufo-Addo came from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Every single promise of President Akufo-Addo came from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
I have a maximum of 3 minutes to wrap up. Get one to wrap up on this. You get one to wrap up, and then we'll ask one last question and we'll wrap up. Yours, what do you want to say? Wrap up on this. Because I know when I leave you, I didn't give you time to wrap up. So
he's talking about farms that they can't see a single farm. The NPP did not say that the NPP is coming to construct or develop farms. The NPP said they're going to support farmers.
So that's the clarity.
It's going to support farmers. And it is evident enough in terms of the growth in agriculture.
As I said, 1 minute, you've done it. Mustafa, 1 minute to wrap up on
They have supported farmers. Cocoa industry is collapsed. Today, as we speak, Burkina is stopping its people from bringing maize into our country. Very soon, there will be hunger strike in this country.
Mustafa, thank you.
Because we have a group of people who
very quickly.
We are working, but they are not working.
Very quickly, Haruna, today's meeting, give us expectations. What do we expect out of that meeting? What's an agenda?
For today's meeting, the agenda will be made known at the meeting. It's going to be 2 steps of meetings. That is the National Executive Committee meeting and the National Council of our party. This is where we have an expanded body. That is the second highest decision-making body of the party. After today's meeting, there will be a big announcement that the good people of Ghana will hear.
Today, the announcement will come today.
There will be an announcement.
Is it the adoring of your...
It's going to be a big announcement.
The adoring of your campaign team.
Shopping for pre-running mate.
I'll come to Muta. Is that the adoring of your campaign team?
There will be an announcement after our meeting today. And you know, you are asking me of an expectation. And I'm telling the people of Ghana to be ready. There will be a big announcement.
Will Bawumia outdoor his running mate today?
When the constitution is right at the right time, Dr. Bawumia will announce the running mate to himself.
Would it be today?
Dr. Bawumia, when the constitution is right at the right time.
Today?
I am saying that Dr. Bawumia, when the constitution is right at the right time.
So he will not do it today?
I am saying when it is right at the right time,
he will do it.
Dr. Bawumia will do it.
Can you confirm what you be talking about in these meetings? One, the campaign. Would you be presenting the team to the executive committee?
Probably it could be part of the discussions that is going to be made, and I know that decisions will be taken and announcements will be done. You know, we did parliamentary elections. After the parliamentary elections, we have not had our NEC meeting. The last NEC meeting was on the 17th of January. We had our elections on 27th. We need to report all these matters before NEC, and decisions will be taken on them. There are other matters that we'll be looking at. So tentatively, these matters will be tabled before the National Executive Committee, which will be adopted as an agenda and be discussed at the meeting. And I believe that the media, as you have always been around, will take home a very big event. An announcement will be made.
Announcement will be made. Would he be presenting his choice of running mate to the National Executive and National Council today too?
For today's discussion, I can't tell whether it is on the table, but I know that there will be a big announcement.
Okay, thank you very much. And Mustafa, quickly, walk us through your own structure. When are you formally launching your campaign, though?
Yeah, before I get that, we have stated that it's on the record that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is not a man of himself.
We moved on from that. Mustafa, have a minute to wrap up.
Okay.
When are you launching your campaign?
Soon, because we just finished with our parliamentary elections. The flag bearer, as part of our strategy, is soliciting and consulting Ghanaians about their problems and how you have been talking about social contract, where our manifesto becomes a social contract. achievable with the people of Ghana all involved. So we are currently paying more attention to that. The General Secretary of my party, my boss, will be launching our NEC committees later this afternoon. And then after the committees have been launched, then we'll tentatively firm up what our manifestos are. And then from there, a running mate will be announced, and then campaigns will start.
Okay.
But I must end by saying that President Mahama is the leader and final leader of our party. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is a relaunch of Nanado's third term bid for president.
Mustafa,
I want my brother to be saying that.
I want to say
you shouldn't come and sit here and say the man is on his own.
Say a big secretary
when the president is going to sit down to choose his
that major announcement today. Thank you.
They are shopping outside.
It's not the relaunch. Yours is the other relaunch. Who failed abysmally in 2016?
And we are live from the AMA forecourt.
You finished in May.
Your election headquarters. This is our formal launch of our coverage of the elections this year, and we'll be wrapping up with the rest of the programming for you, the reason why you must stay with your election headquarters. But of course, as you know, you cannot prosecute an election without the Electoral Commission. And I'm delighted to say we've been joined by the Deputy Commissioner at the Electoral Commission, Dr. Bosman Asari. He joins us here at the forecourt of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Also joining us for a conversation is the Chief of Staff in the Office of the Speaker of Parliament, representing the Parliament itself. As you know, it's a major institution that will play a very important role in this year's elections, and we are happy that Honorable Kofi Ato can join us for a conversation. And I want to start with you, Mr. Bosman Asari. This year is really about you. This is your year. Where are we in preparations towards December 7, or is it November?
Thank you for this opportunity. Let me say good morning to all your viewers and good morning to the Joy Multimedia family for the wonderful work you are doing. As you rightly pointed out, 2024 is a major year for the Electoral Commission. And as far as we are concerned, the processes rightly began after the 2020 elections. So since 2021, 2022, 2023, and the beginning of the year, we have been putting measures in place to ensure that we have one of the best elections in our history. We shouldn't forget that in 2020, when we had the parliamentary and the presidential elections, all the observers, including the local ones, gave the EC a thumbs up. I remember the European Union Observer Mission even giving us 95%. And in 2024, we are determined to even do more. So all the effective, all the right measures, the Commission is going to double down on them. And again, in terms of November or December, as you may be aware, we had a meeting with our political parties. And one of the major parties indicated clearly that they don't support the change of date from December to November in 2024. So as a Commission, we know in the law requiring that to have such a change, you have to go to Parliament, to have 2/3 of the members of Parliament approving of that particular change. The Commission has resolved that we are going to have the elections come December 7th as we did in 2020. So as a Commission, we are fully prepared, we are fully ready, and we believe that the successes that we chalked in 2020, we are going to even do more in 2024.
Okay, but would you have the law passed or to lay the foundations properly for a November elections in 2028?
Yes. In that IPAC meeting, that was agreed with the political parties that in the event we cannot marshal the forces of IPAC to have it in November in 2024, the Commission should take the steps to ensure that in 2028 we are going to have it in November. And again, this must be cleared. We were not talking about November 7th. At the IPAC meeting, the decision was a day in November. So it could be a first Monday, a second Monday, a third Monday, or Tuesday, or Friday, or Thursday in November.
Okay, so this is a day.
A day in November, yes.
It could be first Monday in November,
second Monday,
but that will be
Tuesday or Wednesday in that manner.
And when do you hope to go to Parliament with this legislation?
Well, it's something that the Commission has met over it, and we are looking at all the scenarios, and we are also looking at the calendar of Parliament. But it's something the Commission is committed to it. The Commission is determined to ensure we have it in November in 2020. So within the next few months, this is something the Commission is going to trigger.
Okay, so this offers clarity. And if you're just joining us, this is our launch of the election headquarters, and the EC just clarifying that, yes, the date for elections in this country will change, and they are going to take legislation to Parliament for that, but it will not take effect in 2024. So this year, the elections will still be on December 7th. Ms. Atto, you represent in Parliament. You're the Chief of Staff in the Office of the Speaker. Is Parliament ready to receive this legislation?
Of course. Parliament is always ready. You know, the legislation from Electoral Commission comes as a constitutional instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the practice since 1994, when IPAC started, the practice is when IPAC agrees, it doesn't really take too much time because the representatives of IPAC will certainly brief their parties, and then the party leadership therefore will brief the members. So if that is what they have agreed on in IPAC, it could come anytime. 21 days, it goes through. There's a pre-laying discussion for the committee to understand what it's all about. And as long as the committee understands what it's all about and bring everybody up, because this November business should not really be a problem, because it was NDC that proposed it to IPAC in
2015?
2016, yeah.
2015.
And IPAC agreed, and eventually it came to Parliament, and NPP then said they were not ready for it. Now it's coming from an Electoral Commission. I think we should all just agree, but it should be 2028. So that because you see, it is not just the discussions, it's also involved the Constitution. And the Constitution clearly states that to test, it's one of the things that is entrenched. It's one of the clauses that is, enshrined, which means that at the level of Parliament, it can be dealt with.
Yeah.
It doesn't need any referendum. And all
okay,
that.
so that is clear up now. Parliament ready to receive it, and we don't foresee any challenges because the NDC had said they will back it so far as it's not going to be implemented this year.
Yeah.
The NPP hasn't got an issue. Mr. Bosman, another issue that, since we have you, we need to clear up is the indelible ink change that you wanted to make. I know that there has been some opposition to that. Even in Parliament last week, we had the parties both aligned on the subject, appealing to the Electoral Commission, to keep it as it is. Where are you with that?
I think let me make this very clear. The Electoral Commission is a creation of the Constitution. We have our mandate clearly specified in the Constitution, and we are there for the people of Ghana. And as an institution, we are always committed to ensuring that we make the Ghana project very, very proud. We want to ensure that everything we have to do to make Ghana's democracy a success, we'll do it. Last year, we made it very clear that we thought, when you look at the procedures in our elections, the idea of using the indelible ink is like you are using 2 layers of verification. So the Commission said, if Mr. Evans Mensah is coming to vote, Mr. Evans Mensah will be verified electronically for us to know that indeed it's Mr. Mensah who has been verified. So when you want to go ahead and use the indelible ink, then clearly you don't have confidence in your biometric register. So as a result of that, we postulated that it will be better to do away with the indelible ink. But as a listening institution, we've heard the concerns of the general public, we've heard the concerns of parliamentarians across the aisle, the NPP and the NDC, civil society members, and we've come to the conclusion that if by using the indelible ink, people will have more confidence in the process, why not? Although we still believe that when you do it, you are creating a dual layer of verification, we'll still go ahead and do it because it doesn't change anything. And since the players will believe that it will enhance the integrity, it will promote the integrity, it will deepen the integrity of the process, why not? As a commission, we'll go ahead and do that. So as we speak now, the commission is taking the necessary steps to ensure that all the features that will ensure credible open, transparent election. We are going to do that, and we are going to get all our players on board to support it.
And so this year we also have indelible ink.
This year we are going to have it.
Okay,
we are going to have it.
So that proposal has now been shelved.
Has now been shelved.
Okay.
Although we still believe that by using it, you are creating an additional layer, and it undermines the confidence you have in your biometric process. But we'll still go ahead and do it.
Okay, Mr. Ato?
You see, I know people who use braces and also use the belt. So if it's dual, you are just sure that your trousers will not fall
tight
anywhere. So whether it's dual or not, because in our villages, sometimes these verification machines, they develop problems. There was a time there was voting in my village until 7 o'clock.
Yeah, and just give me a second. For those of you who are listening to us on Joy 99.7 FM, this is where we say thank you for joining us and staying with us from 5:50, where we began this particular program to launch our programs for this year and the election headquarters. You'll be with us throughout, and you will stay with us because, as you've heard already, the programs that we are outdooring for you, we're going to be working with the Electoral Commission, the Parliament, the police. They've all passed through with the political party to deliver an election that delivers on one simple goal, and that is our theme this year, towards an informed electorate. So thank you for joining us on Joy 99.7 FM. Our audiences on the JoyNews channel will stay with us till 10:30, where we will depart and wish you a farewell. But then join us tomorrow when we begin some of our programs. The election brief will be up and running, and also the fact-checking will also be up and running immediately this week. So thank you for joining us on Joy 99.7 FM. We'll continue on the JoyNews channel. Ms. Ato, you were wrapping up on the theme of this is something we need to do.
Yes, it's something we need to do because you can't always. I think just to make sure that people do not vote in Accra and take a vehicle to somewhere else and vote again. And you are sure 90% of the time that is one way. After the technical one, we can't see it. What we can see is the finger. So I think that the Electoral Commission should just slow down. Yeah.
Okay. But Dr. Bosman Asari, one other thing, because we know that during the limited registration exercise, you resorted to using your district offices. What will happen this year? Are we going to have another registration exercise? Will it be open to electoral areas? What is the plan for registering new voters this year?
Yeah, certainly we are going to have a registration exercise this year. The Commission has developed our program for the year. I'm sure by the end of the month, today is 19, by the end of the month of February, very much so, maybe by next week, the program is going to be out. And Ghanaians are going to know the modalities for the registration. Whether we are going to do at the district and the electoral areas, all these things will be made public by next week. So certainly there is going to be a registration exercise, but the modalities, everything should be made available to the people of Ghana latest by the end of this month.
Talking about modalities and how it's going to go around about, and whether it's going to be district or electoral areas, you let us know. I know you're taking some decisions. So what's the decision currently?
No, we are looking at all the options. Registering at the district level is on the table. At the electoral area, in some selected areas, is on the table. At the polling station, is also on the table. So the Commission, as I said, we are there for the people of Ghana. So we want to take a decision that will go a long way to advance the cause of the country's democracy. And let me again state that this is the only institution in West Africa that has been able to register over 50% of the registrable, not even the registrable population, but of the entire population of the country. So the Electoral Commission is committed to ensuring that anyone who is qualified as a voter is given the opportunity to register and vote come December 7th. So as again, all the options are on the table. Latest by the end of this month, Ghanaians will know whether it's going to take place at only the district level or the electoral areas or even at the polling stations.
And talking about you being a listening institution, and based on how you've listened to people for November 7th, you've listened for the indelible ink, do I get the impression, I beg your pardon, can I now infer that it's likely because of the criticism from last year's registration, you're likely to go beyond the district offices to electoral areas and polling stations?
No, as I said, all the options are on the table. And again, what the commission is very particular about is that we listen, but we look at making decisions that will be in the national interest. At times, the people will say, we want the commission to do A, B, C, and D. You know, as a commission, last year, we made it very clear that if we had the Ghana card as the sole means of identification, it makes it easier for us to go to even at the polling station level. But without that, it makes our work very, very difficult. So we are looking at all the options.
Finally on this, because at the last meeting where I was, the indication I got from the Electoral Commission was that it was going to be district offices and then hard to reach electoral areas. So why the change, or we're still looking at all the options? I thought the Electoral Commission had made a decision.
No, Ms. Hamwa, you know, once we've not made the program public, then what it means is that all the options are considerable. So that's why, as an institution, we are looking at it. We are still engaging our street-level bureaucrats, our officers in the regions to see what will be the best for the good people of Ghana. Certainly how to reach places, in places like Afram Plains, in a number of the districts that are very far from the district offices. The commission will look at that. But we haven't concluded on the mode. So it's likely when we make the program available by the end of this month, the mode will be made available to the good people of Ghana, and especially our main stakeholders, the political parties, so that they also plan accordingly.
Mr. Sari, as to wrap up, I wanted to look into the camera and give us your commitment from the Electoral Commission.
Well, I think, let me make it very clear. The Electoral Commission is fully committed to ensuring a very transparent, a very credible, the best of elections in our history. And because of that, we are going to double down on the measures that will ensure credible, transparent, peaceful poll come December 7th. We also want to use this opportunity to implore on the political parties to ensure that they also educate their members to understand our processes very well. So we also urge the security agencies, especially the Ghana Police Service, to conduct themselves very, very well, because Ghana has come very, very far. When you are talking about electoral democracy, we are the best in the sub-region. So we want to make sure that we maintain. And the EC will do whatever is necessary, whatever is proper to ensure that Ghana maintains its position as a beacon of democracy in the African region.
And from Parliament's point of view?
Yes, so let me just make a point before them. From my experience, registration, the closer it is to the people, the better. This idea of registering an electoral area or district so that names are posted to where you vote always consists for people go and they don't find their names. So the first option really is that it should be done in area where you will vote, so that you don't go, for instance, register in Ho, and they are sending you to somewhere in my village to vote. Secondly, to say that Parliament is one of the main beneficiaries of the work of the Electoral Commission, because it is the Electoral Commission that will produce the 276 people that will be coming to Parliament. So Parliament is always very interested and always very ready. In fact, right now a new committee has been set up, which will look at only at the constitutional commissions, like the Electoral Commission, Commission on Civic Education, and Media Commission. There's a whole new committee set up.
And so, Parliament's commitment this year, if you wrap up for me, look into the camera and just make the commitment.
Because of what I said, Parliament should be very committed to what work Electoral Commission will do, and every level of assistance that they will need, particularly in bringing their regulations and laws. I think Parliament will be ready.
We'll be ready to get it.
To work on it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sato. Thank you very much, Bossman Dasari. We're going to be crossing back to Tamale. Before we go, Winston, we need to now tell our audiences the rest of the programming they should look forward to. We've heard from the Electoral Commission, we've heard from Parliament. We talk about fact-checking, which is beginning this Wednesday. Look out for it. Voters' Voice. We're going to be putting the microphones in places where you can go in there and speak to the microphone. We're not going to be mediating in that process. Just let's hear your raw opinions on that. We've talked to you about the Just Turned 18. You're going to be new jobbing very shortly. Ballot Box is going to be traveling across the country scientifically, sampling your issues that would influence your vote this year. But I am looking forward to one of my favorite programs, Battleground. And Battleground is one of the programs that really brings you the most riveting conversations from the constituencies that we know are battlegrounds. Some of them are swing constituencies. When you see the outcome from Adenta, you know, it's a fair prediction of what the national picture is going to happen.
Yes.
So Battleground is going to come in, and you expect that later this year. The verdict. The verdict is a new one that we are going to be introducing this year. Because, listen, one of the things that we've seen over the period is that the politicians, one politician will say the other, one thing, the other politician will say the other thing. We want to have a conversation and bring, using the power of social media, because there you can poll and get, opinions. And then we will deliver a people's verdict on the contentious issues, right? So let's take an example of the issue around 24-hour economy. Is it possible or is it not? We will debate that, and then we'll have a verdict from the people. So look out for the verdict this year. Also, this year is the caucuses will come back, join majority and minority caucuses will come back. And my personal favorite this year is elections boys quarters. Election boys quarters is a whole new dimension of political events coverage, and it will be led by Kojo Yangsing. And guess who else is going to lead that conversation? Fentio Tahiru and Kojo Yangsing will be hosting Election Boys Quarters. It is our satirical take on the big political events and news of the day. And watch out for it. It's going to be riveting. And so, one of the things, the skits they were doing before we came here today was the driver's mate. And you should see Fentio, joking about how he's a driver's mate and how Kojo is a driver. Watch out for that. And also, People's Manifesto is also going to come up this year, where we tap into what the people really want. We'll be traveling across the country with Star Ghana on that. Manifesto Tracker is something you should watch out for. When the parties speak, we'll be tracking what they say and telling you what is feasible and what is not. Now, and the final one that Star Ghana is partnering us to execute is Women, Power, and Politics. And that, for me, is a powerful tool this year. We are covering the women folk, right? We know that inclusivity for us is important this year. And we want to create a space just for the women to speak, those who are actually running this year. And Star Ghana is partnering us to do just that. And we're grateful to Star Ghana and other partners. I want to go take you to Tamale right now and talking about people, power, and politics. Let's bring in my colleague, Martina Bugri, who has been speaking to residents there, their own expectations ahead of this year's polls.
We here, we do transactions with the banks. So at times you can wait, and it's time for you to go to the bank to collect some money to do the transaction. And when you reach there, they will tell you that the time is already gone. So you'll be handicapped. You can't get the money to do the work you're supposed to do. So I think the 24-hour economic is good for us.
You will go with John Mahama?
Yes, I think that's good for us.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, let me come to you also. You have heard political parties tell you some of the things that they will do. Last week, Mr. Mahama was here, and then we also heard the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, earlier last week as well, telling us some of the things they do. Mr. Alan Chemati has also spoken, among others. You, as a businessman, what would you be looking for to vote for a political party?
We support John Mahama for our economy.
He has just told me that he would go in for John Mahama. And the reason why he would go in for John Mahama is because of the 24-hour economy. What of you? Where would you throw your weight?
I will go in for a party who will come into government, support industries like new technology, to develop the industries with new technology, whereby we can manufacture and sell. We can, redesign many things in our midst to sell. So that is the party that I think I can support.
The policies of the NPP party is good for me, because there are a lot of initiatives they have brought, which is working, and some are still yet to work. So as the 24-hour economy that we talked of, I don't think maybe even it will work, not within 4 years.
I would like the party hierarchies or the leaders to send some of our youth to places like India, China. No, let's not mention America or.
Thank you very much for staying with us all the way from 5:50 was wasting when we began this, and it's been quite a ride.
It has been, Evan. So you know what? Let's look forward patiently to December 7, 2024, where 176 constituencies will be voting in this country to elect 276 members of parliament. Hey, how come I was reducing it to 176? Maybe that's what I want. 276 constituencies, and of course we get to elect a president. I am definitely ready for the coverage.
Okay, you must be ready to, and this is where you want to stay for everything election 2024. You now know what programs we have for you. We have the plans that we have for you this year. And the reason why you need to stay with us, because we are covering Ghana like nobody does. We are covering the issues like nobody does. And always remember, whatever we do this year, we have one simple objective. Our theme is simple: towards an informed electorate. My name is Evans Mensah.
And my name is Winston Amon.
And I'm going to cross over right now to my colleague, Gifty Abochi, who's standing by right now in the studios of JoyNews.